From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email it to me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us on Twitter at Radio Detectives, and be sure and fill out the listener survey, survey.greatdetectives.net. Well, today's program is brought to you by the financial support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. And it's time now for today's episode of Barrie Craig. This one's called Dead Bull in a China Shop.
Barrie Craig speaking. You're a confidential investigator, and if you're smart, you put yourself on a schedule. You get to the office at 9 and get out of it at 5. You eat a leisurely dinner and spend the rest of the evening with a book you hope is good. That is, if you're smart. If you're me, you get restless, and around midnight, you drop in at Willy's wagon. You find Willy morosely staring at his coffee urn, a small but not underprivileged brunette, with her head at the far end of the counter, sobbing. For a wild moment, you think that maybe Willy has wronged our little Nell. You then dismiss such happy fancies. You try to ignore the brunette who keeps right on sobbing, and you make a brilliant opening remark. What's new, Willy?
Huh.
Well, all right. How are the hamburgers?
Not new.
Think I should take a chance on one?
You got the pendants?
No.
I'll make you a hamburger.
Thanks.
Hey, better have a cup of coffee first.
Why?
Deaden your stomach nerves.
I've tasted your hamburgers before.
Well, they ain't improved since then.
Willy,
Huh?
I know she didn't come at the place. I've never seen her here before. She's pretty, but does she have to make that noise?
She is suffering from grief.
She had the blue plate dinner here?
According to what she tells me, she had a great loss.
What did she lose?
Her bull fiddle.
A what?
A bull fiddle. You know, them floated violins.
I know. She plays the double bass.
What's that?
At Carnegie Hall for a bull fiddle.
Oh, yeah, except nobody plays on a bull fiddle that she ain't got.
It would be harder anyway. Come to think of it, losing one of those things is a little like misplacing the Empire State Building.
It was swiped off her. Here's your hamburger.
Thanks.
Mr. Craig, maybe you can help Susie. She don't find a bull fiddle, she is liable to be out of weight. She is accustomed to eating, so I do not think this will be good for her. Susie, come here.
Huh?
I want you to meet Mr. Craig.
Oh. Hi, Mr. Craig.
Hello, Susie.
Mr. Craig ain't only a friend of mine, Susie. He's also a confidential investigator. You ought to tell him your trouble.
I only got one trouble.
You lost your double bass.
Uh-huh. Only the kind of music I play is the bull fiddle.
Where did you lose it?
At the club, the 4920 Club.
You're part of the band that plays the club?
I play solos. The customers like it because I'm so small and the bull fiddle's so big. And besides, I'm cheaper than the band, so they like it.
Bull fiddle isn't the kind of a thing a man could slip into his coat pocket. There can't be many things harder to steal.
Whoever stole mine didn't worry about that.
Well, when did you miss it?
About an hour ago. I done my number, went out for a walk, and when I got back,
No bull fiddle?
no bull fiddle.
Well, there must have been people around.
Well, the club closed early tonight. There wasn't anybody around when I got back except Brinker.
Brinker? Who's Brinker?
Well, he's almost as big as you are, but not so cute.
Well, I'd have trouble recognizing him from that.
Well, he's sort of a caretaker and club bouncer, you know.
I don't. I'm afraid I may find out, though. All right, Susie, let's go over to the club. Maybe I'll be able to come up with something that might help.
Gosh. Thanks, Mr. Gray.
Hey, wait a minute, Tom. Closing up anyways. I'll tag along.
Why?
Oh, I'm intrigued. I would like to meet a character who goes around swiping bull fiddles. I would also like to warn him to lay off the Brooklyn Bridge. It's smashing down.
Willie closed up, then the three of us piled into my car, and we took off. Eventually, we arrived at the club.
Hey, the club is dark.
Well, I get a key to the stage door. It's just down the alley here. Mr. Craig, why would anybody want to steal my bull fiddle?
I don't know.
There's a truck parked outside the stage door.
Hey, it's coming straight down the alley.
It is!
Susie, Willie, get up against the building. Flatten out. You all right?
Hey, I guess so. We're so close, though.
That truck didn't care much whether it ran us down or not. Back of it was open, and... Susie, you had a case for the bull fiddle?
Uh-huh.
It was on the truck.
Oh, with a fiddle in it.
Hey, we ought to be chasing it or something.
Had too big a jump on us. I got the license number, though. 4X354. Maybe it'll come in handy later on. Right now, let's get into the club.
We're going to lock the stage door after the bull is stolen, huh?
Another one like that, and I'll see to it you're forced to eat in your own lunch wagon.
Nobody could be that cruel.
Oh, it's open. They had no chance to lock it. Just a work light on over the dance floor.
Mr. Craig.
Yeah. One large man lying down.
That's Brinker.
Well, he's alive. He was slugged, passed out, but I don't think there's any permanent damage.
Hey, Mr. Craig.
Yeah?
Over here at the edge of the floor.
On my way. Pretty.
Well, that's my bull fiddle.
It was a double bass, all right. Whoever had left it here had propped it up against the ringside table. The bull fiddle isn't a thing of beauty, usually, though I don't mind looking at one. This one I didn't like to look at. Think about it. That's yours, Susie?
Yes, it is.
The last time you saw it, was it out here on the floor?
Oh, no, it was back of the little bandstand down there. It was brought out only when I did my number. And then it was
Is there a phone in the place?
in the office. Why?
This may surprise you. The reason why I want a phone is to make a phone call.
We're surprised. But, what are you going to call about? Susie's got her fiddle back.
Sure. She hasn't got the case, though.
Is that something to get excited about? A bull fiddle case?
I don't know. I hope not.
You're worried about something, aren't you?
Lead me to the phone, Susie. I want to find a truck. Maybe it was the empty club. The shadows huddling in the unlit corners. The floor pale and shining in the silence that did the job on my nerves. Whatever it was, they were jumping.
Lieutenant Rogers, homicide.
Trav, this is Barrie.
Things are quiet down here at homicide, Barrie. Do you have to finish this call?
Now stop playing with your Pi Beta Kappa key. I want to know who owns a truck. License number 4X354.
What did the truck do, run you over?
It came close.
4X354. Hang on. If I can wake anybody up over in motor vehicles, I'll have it for you in a couple of minutes.
Thanks, Trav. I hung on.
Barrie?
Yes?
Name's Christopher Malone. Residence address 74 East Lake. Garage at 12 River.
That's what I wanted.
You got it. Barrie,
Yeah?
need a hand?
I don't think so, Trav. All I've got so far is a sort of hunch. Probably want me to think. Go on back to that bridge game.
No one in the department plays bridge while on duty. They play pinochle. So long, Barrie.
So long. Come on, Susie. Let's go back and see if Brinker has come too.
What's wrong with you, Mr. Brinker?
I I got a headache.
In both heads?
But this here ain't my head. This here's a lump on my head. You a Brinker. What happened? I was straightening up the place, and all of a sudden I hear somebody breathing down the back of my neck, so I says, stop breathing down the back of my neck. So he stops breathing down the back of my neck, and he hits me on the head. I shouldn't have told him to stop breathing down the back of my neck. Maybe not. Did you see what it was? I didn't see nothing to nobody. Too bad. Susie, I'll take you home. Willie, you coming along?
Sure.
Brinker, can you lock it up somewhere? Yeah, sure. One of the back rooms. Fine. Let's go. Well, it's all mixed up. Someone stole your fiddle. You sure of that, Susie?
I'm sure of it, Mr. Craig.
Then the fiddle was returned and the case was stolen. I'll hop in. Anybody got any answers? Well, maybe I'm asking the right questions, but none of the right people. We'll keep trying. We dropped Susie off at her apartment, swung around, and headed downtown again. The 74 Eastlake and a truck driver named Christopher Malone. Maybe I ought to take you home, Willie.
I ain't no hurry.
But your wife.
That's why I ain't no hurry.
All right, she's your wife.
Don't rub it in.
But I'm perfectly willing to share the truck driver with you.
Hey, the guy's truck ain't up front.
No. Nameplate over the doorbell. Yeah, Malone. Maybe he's a hard sleeper.
Yeah, maybe.
Second open door tonight. Here's the light switch.
I got it. You know, a guy could resent our barging in.
Not this one. Well, according to the police, Christopher Malone lives at 74 Eastlake. They're wrong. He's dead there. Trent came out with a couple of the boys from homicide. They all stood around and stared at the corpse of the late Mr. Malone. He paid no attention. Corpses rarely do. We had a head start. We'd seen him before they did, so we left earlier.
Guys don't look good when they're shot full of bullets.
It's never been recommended as a beauty aid.
He was the truck driver who drove away with Susie's bull fiddle case, huh?
Yeah.
So what happened to his truck and the case?
I don't know.
Well, why would anyone swipe a bull fiddle case without the bull fiddle in it anyways?
Maybe he didn't know the fiddle wasn't in the case.
Well, he's sure going to be disappointed when he gets home and opens the case and reaches for the fiddle.
Somehow, I don't think so. Don't ask me why, either.
I won't. You wouldn't answer. Like if you was to ask me what goes into Willie's Irish stew, would I answer? But this car ain't aimed at my house. Or yours.
Neither of us live down on River Street.
It's bad.
Malone's garage is on River Street.
Kind of late for visiting the guy's place of business. Except he won't be transacting business there tonight. I hope.
River Street pitched sharply to the Hudson below. A murky light picked out a worn sign swaying in a slight wind. The sign read, Christopher Malone, licensed trucking. The large garage doors were shut. A smaller door set in the panel of one of them was locked. You couldn't look inside.
It's been warmer in Alaska.
Now we've got to get in.
You figured the truck's inside, huh?
Yeah.
When we was back at Malone's apartment, why didn't you swipe his keys off of him?
Because somebody else had already done so.
That ain't comforting. Because whoever knocked off Malone is probably a murderer. Probably. He is a murderer.
The question is... Someone coming down the street. Willie, this doorway, quick.
Who is it?
Too far away yet. Besides, it may be nobody connected with Malone or...
What makes you think I'm going to be so lucky? For the coffee I serve alone, I deserve it. It's Brinker.
Yeah.
Stopping at the garage.
Big doors. Come on. Lights on inside. Truck's there. Back of it towards us. Brinker must be up front. Come on. We're getting into that truck.
Trucks ain't very comfortable. Personally, I would rather lay down in a bed. One nice thing, no window between the cab and the rest of the truck back here. So Brinker won't spot us while he keeps going. But, what happens when he stops?
We'll worry about that later.
You got something better to worry about now?
Yeah.
Tell me so I can worry about it, too.
Over to your left.
Oh, the bull fiddle case. Still where it was when we spotted it. I should worry about the case?
Only about what's inside of it. It was pretty clear, wasn't it? Sure, I didn't know who he might be, but that he'd be there. That was as certain as death.
Yeah, the joker driving this truck is heading out of town.
Come on, we'll try to get that case open.
Give me one good reason.
Corpses aren't pretty. Remember what Malone looked like?
I'm willing to forget.
That's what murderers would like.
Yeah, okay, we get the case open.
Now, there's a snap lock on it. Hope we don't need a key. No. Ought to open easy now.
Okay, you got it open and... Grab him, Willie. Okay, I got him. Yeah, but I don't want him. He's dead.
Ease him down to the floor. I'll get the case down flat.
He's down.
Fine. Well, there's a wallet in his breast pocket. Papers in it.
What?
His name's Gordon Bentley.
Bentley? Hey, that's the guy who owns the club where Susie works.
Interesting. Come on, let's put him back in the case.
Yeah, but he won't be able to breathe it. Forget I said anything. Okay, let's go.
Now,
Sit tight, fit.
well, it'll do.
Think of the trouble we would have had if Susie played the piccolo.
We wouldn't have been here if she had.
That guy was shot, just like Malone.
Yeah, which is interesting.
I don't think it's any more interesting than if the guy had been strangled or even poisoned.
You don't appreciate the finer points.
Yeah, what are they?
I'll let you know when I find out.
Thanks. So do we jump off the truck now or 5 seconds from now?
We stay on. The truck's hitting at least 50. We jump now, we could get killed.
If we stay on, we will get killed.
I doubt it.
Why?
No one could ever get all three of us into that case.
Getting off the highway.
It's slowing down. We may have a chance to jump for cover when it stops. Uh-oh.
Sounds like we're surrounded.
We stay.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to spot us back here, and then
Maybe it'll be later.
How are things, Brinker?
They're fine, Mr. Walsh.
We got a load ready for you to run in.
Okay, Mr. Walsh. Why I'm here.
Everybody's leaving.
This trip, I got something special for you, Mr. Walsh.
You have? What?
I'll tell you about it when we start loading the truck.
And we ain't popular. Everybody's gone away.
We get out. Hey. The house is set back from the highway. It's a big place.
Yeah, well, let's not wait.
We have to.
If I get out of this alive, I'll use meat in the hamburgers.
Don't say anything. You'll be sorry, Paul. Come on.
What are we going to do? Knock on the door and tell them we're working our way through college? This wouldn't work. They're still looking for me in the 6th grade.
What side of the house, Willie?
The servants' entrance?
A window. Any place we can see what's going on inside. That one.
This gets around, they'll be calling me Peep and Willie. Lots of guys in there. Very social.
Not to mention the cases of liquor all over the place. Looks like this would be a warehouse for Bentley's club.
It's kind of inconvenient. Must be 50 miles out of town.
Must be a reason why Bentley keeps his liquor out here.
His doctor told him to stay away from liquor.
Another one like that and they'll hand you your head.
You can't. It's attached to him.
Something can be done about that.
Nice contortions you're going through. Why?
Trying to get a better look at the liquor cases. Imported stuff. Yeah. No customs stamp on them.
Smuggle, huh?
Yeah. Explains the location of this place. The truck. Mr. Walsh and friends. The smugglers, I guess, and also Brinker.
The delivery boy, huh?
The delivery boy. What it doesn't explain is why Brinker is bringing Walsh a bull fiddle case complete with a recent corpse. The men inside showed signs of moving. Willie and I moved first. Crossed the road from the truck in a clump of trees.
You said you had something special for me this trip, Brinker.
Oh, I nearly forgot, Mr. Walsh. What I got for you is a bull fiddle in its case.
You don't say. Bentley thinks I ought to study music, maybe?
All I know is you're supposed to keep it here for a while.
Okay. I'll have the boys unload it. But you know something? I'd be a lot happier if instead of a bull fiddle, Susie was in that case.
They unloaded the bull fiddle case, loaded the liquor, and the truck went away. Willie and I stuck it out for a while and also went away.
You know, Mr. Craig, feet are never going to replace the wheel.
Maybe we'll get a hitch soon.
We better.
Also, we're in a hurry.
Well, where do we go from here if we ever get transportation?
Susie's apartment.
Duty, or you think it's a nice idea?
Willie, duty's always a nice idea.
Oh, my, Mr. Craig. I'm Willy.
May we come in?
Oh, of course you may. I was asleep.
I thought you might be, but this is important.
Something's happened?
Susie, how do you and Bentley get along?
Oh, we get along fine. He even wants me to marry him.
Well, how do you feel about that?
I haven't been able to make up my mind. But he's got so much money that... Anyway, I'm not sure I can trust him. A man who runs a nightclub. What kind of husband would he make?
I never thought about it.
So Gordon, that's Mr. Bentley, said he was going to sell the club to prove he really loved me.
Did he sell it?
He was supposed to this afternoon.
For cash?
Oh, sure. I don't think the man Gordon's selling the club to can write. Besides, they wouldn't want to have any records on account of income taxes, so... Well, that's one of the reasons I don't know if I should marry Gordon. That's Mr. Bentley.
Have you seen Gordon? That's Mr. Bentley today?
No. My bull fiddle was stolen, so I forgot all about him. And besides,
We found the bull fiddle case, Susie.
Sure, darling. Where is it?
That's not important. What is important is, why was just the case stolen the second time?
Gosh, I don't know.
Susie, suppose I murder someone.
Why would you want to do such a terrible thing?
Well, just suppose I do. I murder him in a nightclub. I've got to hide his body until I can dispose of it safely. Now, where can I hide it?
Well, don't ask me after all.
There's a girl who plays a bull fiddle in the club, which means there's a bull fiddle case around. The man I killed wasn't a big man, so I put him in.
My bull fiddle case?
Right.
Well, it's a very nasty thing to... But you didn't kill anyone.
Somebody did. Put the corpse in your fiddle case.
The corpse of who, Mr. Craig?
Gordon Bentley.
Oh.
Here, you better sit down.
Oh, that's terrible. I'll never be able to use that case again.
Well, I suppose not.
I'll never be able to marry Gordon. That's Mr. Bentley, either.
You don't really care about that, do you?
You mean because I never really loved him?
I mean because you already have all his money.
Hey, Mr. Craig, you're saying she...
That's what I'm saying.
She killed Bentley. Oh, for the cash she sold the club for. Oh, she's such a small girl.
She had help. That is Brinker's help.
Stop flapping your lips. You don't know a thing.
You, Brinker, and Susie killed Bentley. Lifted the cash, hid Bentley in the fiddle case. You arranged for the late Mr. Malone to pick it up and deliver it to Walsh out in the country.
You get around, Craig.
Thanks. But I spotted that case in the truck, so while I took Susie home, you killed Malone. Closing that road, you thought.
He went around thinking such nasty thoughts about me, and I said he was cute.
Shut up, Susie.
Plan was simple. You delivered the case with Bentley inside and asked Walsh to keep it. Susie went out and planted the stolen bull fiddle story with Willy, and as it happened, with me. Why? Tomorrow morning, Susie would yell to the cops. Bentley is missing. I'd remember the bull fiddle. Brinker would remember Walsh and the country hideout.
The cops would grab Walsh, the case, find a corpse in it, and Walsh would cry.
Thanks, Willie.
I got a surprise for you. It's still gonna be that way. Because after you two jokers go away, you're dead someplace. The program goes on like scheduled.
Oh.
Go answer that. We don't care who it is.
Sure you care. Because before coming here, I phoned your friend Walsh. I told him to look inside that fiddle case.
Right around, boys. Drop the pop gun, Brinker.
No. Okay. You should have dropped it, Brinker. Your arm would feel a lot better. But cheer up. Maybe it'll be healed before they execute you. That wasn't a nice thing to say, but then murderers aren't nice people. I phoned the police, and by the time they arrived, Walsh had discreetly gone for a long walk. The cops would get him anyway. However, they took over Brinker and Susie.
I hate to ask, but something must have tipped you off.
Susie did.
I didn't hear.
Sure you did. It was a phony story, Willie. We were supposed to think someone had put Bentley in that fiddle case in the afternoon.
Somebody did.
Sure, but if they did, the bull fiddle would have been out in the open. It had to be.
Yeah, Susie would have noticed that. Would have wondered who took it out. She would have checked, and
If she'd been telling the truth, she would have said the case was stolen, not the fiddle. But the truth wasn't what Susie was dealing in. It was murder.
Well, thanks for taking me home. And, after all this time, when I walk into that house where my wife is no doubt waiting up for me, and her eyes light on me, it won't be joy, Mr. Craig.
Well, what will it be?
Murder.
Welcome back. Well, this is another case where somebody put a detective on the trail, but were actually guilty. This was in some ways more believable. I think mainly, because she didn't know she was talking to a detective and that she was putting a detective onto the case. But then again, the voice, I don't know. I'm still having trouble buying that, she actually conspired, for the murder, but Barrie Craig said he did. And, well, Barrie is right, when he gets down to the point of the denouement. Program was edited. This was not done on our part. This was just something that was, came in the recording. So, well, we did have 3 lost episodes between last week's show and this one. Those were Sweet Goddess of Murder, The Wife Who Was a Gift, and The Fatal Punch. And this actually is the last of the 1954 shows. Next week we'll be starting on the programs from 1955. When we do turn to listener comments and feedback, Mo Johns writes, this is terrific podcast. I love vintage radio and enjoy Adam's insight. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you listening. And that'll actually do it for today. We will be back next week with another episode of Barrie Craig. And tomorrow, join us for another episode of Poirot. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. And I especially want to thank Ginger, who sent along a donation, and we sent her along access to our premium site, which we do with all donations of $7 or more. Thank you so much. Your support really is appreciated. Today's episode, there is a slight problem I should let you know about. About in the middle of the episode, Poirot and the inspector are cut off towards the end of a conversation, and by the time the recording comes back on, the much expected murder has already occurred. So it could be a little disorienting, but I think that the general idea of the plot, and particularly the end, still remains, which is always important when we're dealing with mysteries. So here now is today's episode, Murder is a Private Affair.
Crime and the little grey cells These will always catch the criminal.
Hercule Poirot, Detective Extraordinary. From the thrill-packed pages of Agatha Christie's unforgettable stories of corpses, clues, and crime, Mutual now brings you, complete with bowler hat and magnificent mustache, your favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, starring Harold Huber in Murder is a Private Affair.
Hercule Poirot to see Madame Baldwin.
This way, sir. Madame expects you. Mr. Hercule Poirot.
Ah, Mr. Poirot, come right in. My family has been panting with eagerness waiting for you.
Speak for yourself, Aunt Amelia.
You see, Mr. Poirot, you'll get to know the family without my introducing you. That was my stupid nephew, Henry Baldwin.
Really, Aunt Amelia? I think this procedure of yours is not only high-handed, but insulting.
You hear that, Mr. Poirot? She thinks I'm insulting her. That's my nephew Henry's wife, Alice. Henry's the only one of the Baldwins who married a plain girl like Alice. That's why we call him stupid. One reason, at any rate.
Excuse me, madame, but I do not see the place of Hercule Poirot in this, what appears to be a family squabble.
Your place is where I tell you. You get your check for this little matter.
Madame, when you sent for me, I thought you might be in difficulty. I see now that I was mistaken. Au revoir.
Just a minute, Mr. Poirot.
Madame, I have fortunately attained a place in my profession where it is not necessary for me to be insulted by impolite ladies, nor to watch this same lady inflict insults, deserved or not, upon her family.
Good for you, Mr. Poirot.
Thank you, mademoiselle.
Sorry if I was rude, Mr. Poirot. But it's partly force of habit and partly annoyance. Also, I take it as one of the privileges of the oath. Will you forgive me?
But of course, madame.
I brought you here to solve a murder, quietly and with no fuss.
Madame, I suppose you realize that is a most amazing statement. Murder is never quiet.
Exactly. And I'm not going to have this fine old house of mine tramped on by a lot of heavy-footed policemen with photographers taking pictures all over the place.
Madame, it is difficult to follow you. Do you mean that there has already been a murder, or that you suspect there is going to be one?
Both. My maid was killed this morning, and I am going to be killed as soon as the murderer thinks it's safe.
Madame, this is a matter for the police.
Oh, fiddlesticks. There's no necessity for the police. The whole thing can be settled today.
How, madame?
Very simply. My maid was killed because someone of my family mistook her for me.
Mother.
Quiet! I may be old, but I'm not a doddering imbecile. Not yet.
And what leads you to make this assumption, madame?
Mr. Poirot, I may not be a detective, but when an old lady in her 70s has a fortune of $6 million to be distributed upon her death to the members of a greedy and impatient family...
Mother, I've stood all I'm going to. I don't know what the rest of the family's going to do, but I'm getting out of here.
Go right ahead, Lawrence, my son. But remember, the murderer of Marie is going to the electric chair.
Madame, I do not know what has been going on in this house. But once again, I strongly advise you to call the police.
Well, Lawrence, if you're going, please close the door gently behind you.
Mr. Poirot, are you going to take this case?
I can scarcely answer that, monsieur, because as yet I do not have the facts.
It's very simple. May I, Mother?
Certainly, as long as I'm here to see that you tell the truth.
Well, this morning, Mother went into the pantry to prepare the coffee and found her maid, Marie, stabbed to death. She immediately jumped to the insane conclusion that someone of us had done it.
Mr. Poirot, it's well known that I insist on preparing my own coffee every morning. All the members of my family know it. There was no one in the house except the servants and the people you see in this room. Well, today I overslept, something I haven't done in years. And when I went down to the pantry, I found Marie. She's very much like me, approximately the same age and build.
But, madame, I still do not see why you do not call the police.
It's very simple, Mr. Poirot. I know that someone in this room is a murderer, and I want you to find out which one it is. And then, when you've discovered the murderer, he or she will commit suicide. And we'll simply give the story to the papers as a double suicide. That will clear everything up, and... Where are you going?
To call the police, madame. Your suggestion is not only vicious, but also it is against the law.
Mr. Poirot, you are brought here on a confidential matter, and
Murder, madame, is never confidential.
Jenkins, I told you we were not to be disturbed.
I know, madam, but this is about Marie.
Marie? What about her? She's dead.
Yes, I know, madam. But Marie, or rather, her body has disappeared. It's no longer lying in the pantry. Don't feed the animals, miss. It's against the rules.
Lawrence, look at that magnificent beast. Look at the way he walks up and down the cage.
Tigers do have power in their walk, don't they, Olivia?
They're beautiful.
This is vaguely reminiscent of you, darling. That same feline grace.
Why, Lawrence, you improve each time I see you.
You couldn't, Olivia. You were too overwhelming the first time I met you.
When I was engaged to Henry Baldwin, you mean? By the way, how is dear Henry and that stupid little wife of his?
Worried, Olivia. Very worried.
How did it go?
Are you sure it's all right to talk here?
In the Central Park Zoo, my dear. No one's around but the tigers and the children.
No, I don't know quite how to say. Oh, Mother blew up, of course.
I knew she would.
Oh.
Don't jump, Lawrence. She can't get at you.
Well, I'm nervous. Mother went right to work, assembled us all in the library, and accused one of us of trying to murder her.
Was she frightened?
Well, that's hard to say, Olivia. You know, in many ways, Mother is like you. You're both strong women. Maybe that's why I love you so much.
Oh, never mind that, Lawrence. Go on about Amelia.
She called in Hercule Poirot.
Poirot? That's right, Tiger. I don't like it either. Poirot's about the only one smart enough to see through this.
Then you think we ought to drop it, huh?
No. No, we'll just have to watch our steps, Lawrence.
I don't know, Poirot, but I swear that sometimes I think police headquarters is a much quieter place when you weren't in New York.
Oh, come now, mon cher Stephen. Surely you are not saying that the city of New York had no murders before Hercule Poirot arrived.
Sure we had, but they were simple gang killings. Some torpedo put the slug on another hood, and, well, there you had it.
There you have it indeed, mon ami, an entirely new language.
Well, I understand that better than this Baldwin dame. She's sure a holy terror. Followed me around the house, bawling me out and calling me names. Poirot, where is that maid body?
Alas, mon brave, that is a question that I ask myself.
And who could have taken it? Now, you tell me that the whole family was sitting there in the library with you.
That is right, mon vieux.
And we checked on the servants. None of them could possibly have moved it.
Mon ami, there is something in this case that is out of focus. Observe, we are seeing it in a distorted light.
I'm not seeing it at all. We checked every inch of that pantry for bloodstains, and not a one. Everything washed clean, which means that whoever took the corpse away also had time to clean up the pantry floor. Poirot, I'd give my eye teeth if you'd gotten a look at that body.
It is not the body that bothers me so much as the feeling I have. That unless we are careful, there will be another murder.
So you believe the old lady's story that someone's out after her?
I neither believe nor disbelieve it, Stephen. There is something that we have missed. Something that is in the back of my mind. Something that would open up this whole case for us.
Now, look, give me something to go on, will you, Poirot? Do you think that the old lady Baldwin is in danger, or don't you?
But of course she is in danger, mon ami. But from what source, I cannot yet tell. Sometimes I almost feel as if...
As if what?
As if she were in danger more from herself than from anyone else.
Mr. Hercule Poirot, madam.
Oh, have him come in, Jenkins.
This way, sir.
Bonjour, madame.
Good day to you, Mr. Poirot. I suppose you've come back here to do some more snooping?
Madame, for a woman who has just stated that she was sure an attempt was made on her life, you are singularly unafraid.
What good will it do me to be afraid? Certainly I should be if I felt that I had to depend on either you or the police. You've done nothing but track up the house and ask a lot of silly questions.
Then you are relying on yourself to stave off whatever threatens you, madame?
I've done it all my life, and I'm too old to change now.
May I ask what it is that you intend to do?
Yes. I'm going to change my will. Leave every cent to charity. That ought to stop the wolves from howling for my blood.
I ask myself, madame, if they were howling before today.
What? What do you mean? Of course they were. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Amelia.
Who is this?
Not a friend, Amelia, not a friend. Aren't you frightened?
Listen to this, Mr. Poirot. No, why should I be?
You were right. But perhaps that was all for the best. Now you know we mean what we say.
And who is we?
Shall we say your creditors?
You'll have to be more specific than that.
I'm afraid I can't, and I haven't much time. Amelia, you're lucky to be alive. You won't be unless you give us $50,000.
You won't get it.
We'll mail you instructions as to how we want it and when and where.
You're wasting your time, whoever you are.
I think not, Amelia. I think not. Marie died quickly and painlessly. But there's no reason why you shouldn't be longer about it and suffer. Think it over.
There. You still think that I'm fooling you, Mr. Poirot. You heard that?
No, madame. This telephone call gives one furiously to think, eh?
So maybe some good will come out of your thinking.
Madame, you are a strong-willed person. May I advise that you either leave the city for a short time or take police protection?
Oh, nonsense. I don't scare easily. And I won't have the police tramping around this house. I thought you said you had an idea.
That is quite true, madame. But my idea simply tells me that there have been evil forces unchained in this house.
Well, I told you that.
Au revoir, madame. And please, if you will not heed my advice, make sure you bolt your door.
Henry.
Yes, dear? Hey, this is exceptionally good coffee tonight.
Thank you, darling.
I married a good cook, didn't I, Alice?
Yes, Henry. You married a good cook. Henry.
Yes, dear?
Oh, nothing.
Come on. There's something bothering you. I can see it with that little worry line between your eyes.
Henry, why did you marry me?
Oh. So we're back to that again, huh?
Yes, we're back to that again. I was Alice Lennox, a plain little girl, and you were Henry Baldwin, nephew of the great Amelia. Oh, it was all wrong.
You mean you don't love me, Alice?
Not love you. Henry, you know I'm so mad about you it hurts. It's just that I can't understand why you married me.
I love you, darling.
And what about Olivia?
Oh, Alice, that's just part of my wild oats. Every man who's worth his salt is entitled to a few wild oats, darling.
I never should have married you, never. But Henry, you don't know what it meant to me. You don't know what you meant to me. Here I was, perfectly resigned to living out the rest of my life as an old maid, and then someone beyond my wildest dreams falls in love with me.
Darling, it happens sometimes. I see that is, dear.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to let anyone in. I'm so sure that every time I open that door, someone will be standing there who'll take you away from me.
Now, don't worry, darling.
Bonsoir, madame. Bonsoir, monsieur. May I intrude for a little while?
Oh, why, yes, come in.
Oh, but I see that I interfere with your dinner. That is unforgivable.
No, Mr. Poirot. We're just finishing. Have some coffee?
No, thank you. I will be brief, eh? That little scene this morning at the house of Madame Baldwin, that was most unfortunate, n'est-ce pas?
Well, we're quite used to Aunt Amelia's tantrums, Mr. Poirot.
You mean, monsieur, that your aunt is as insulting as that always?
Only since Henry married me, Mr. Poirot.
Madame Baldwin objected to your marriage, then?
Only enough to cut Henry out of her will altogether and have him fired from his job.
Ah, yes. Madame Baldwin is a stubborn woman.
Well, this was one time that she didn't get her way. I married Alice and not Olivia.
Pardon? Olivia?
Olivia Wilson, the actress. You've heard of her?
Not until now, mademoiselle. Tell me, in the Baldwin family, there are you, Monsieur Henry, and Madame Baldwin's son, Monsieur Lawrence, and that young lady who sat in the library so quietly and said nothing, yes?
Oh, that's Jean. That's Lawrence's sister.
She's a very sweet girl, Mr. Poirot, but completely terrified by Aunt Amelia.
You needn't worry about Jean, darling. She's the smartest one of us all.
And what makes you say that, Monsieur Henry?
Well, a few years ago, Jean fell in love with a nice enough boy by the name of Harrison.
And of course, Aunt Amelia wouldn't hear of Jean marrying him.
You see, Aunt Amelia likes to choose the people that Baldwins marry.
So, poor little Jean didn't marry Harrison.
But she is one of the Baldwins who has her cake and eats it, too. She still sneaks out and sees him on the side.
Oh, Henry, don't. You make it sound so mean and hateful.
Yes, there is so much in this case that is spiteful and evil, madame. So much that it worries me.
Tell me, Mr. Poirot, have you found Marie's body yet?
Not yet, monsieur.
Mr. Poirot, why did you really come here? Do you think we had anything to do with what happened?
I came, madame, to see if you had a telephone.
Poirot, will you please tell me why we're on this train heading for a little town like Boonville?
Because, mon ami, as I have already pointed out, Boonville is the home of Madame Baldwin's maid, Marie.
Look, Poirot, there are some things I just won't believe. I've been a cop for over 15 years now, and I know that one of the toughest things to do is get rid of a body. Bodies just don't disappear into thin air.
Très bien, Stevens. You are on the right track. Continue.
I am? Well, the way I figure it is this. No one of the family could have stolen the body.
Precisely, mon ami. Now you are making good use of the little gray cells.
And no one of the servants could have taken it.
My congratulations, mon brave.
Yet here we are on a train, which means that somebody not only grabbed the body and washed the pantry floor, but they shipped the body off to Boonville.
No. It is here you go wrong.
Oh.
Regard, Stephen. I once told you we had the wrong view of this case, eh? We were looking at it from the wrong angle. The center of this is a selfish, dominating old woman ruling a family and being hated by this family.
What's that got to do with Marie's body?
In a way, everything. You have just said that no one could have taken the corpse, and you were right. And yet the body was taken away and the floor washed. There is therefore only one possible explanation.
Sure. The body got up and walked away.
Exactly, mon ami. But first, Marie washed the pantry floor, so we would think that the bloodstains which had never been there had been washed away.
What? What are you trying?
Well, good morning, Lawrence.
Good morning.
I've been waiting here for you for some time. I rather expected you'd be late after reading the morning papers.
What do you mean by that, Olivia?
So you really did it, darling. You know, I'm beginning to admire you more and more.
Now, stop it, Olivia. You know I had nothing to do with Mother's death.
Oh, Lawrence. You can break down and tell me the truth. After all, it's strange that it should happen just the way we planned it so many times. Stabbed in a bedroom, no one around.
Olivia, you're crazy. I tell you, I didn't do it.
Have it your own way, Lawrence, but he doesn't seem to believe you either.
Olivia, I won't have you talking this way.
Well, then, Lawrence, darling, tell me who did do it. And don't say it was a burglar.
I don't know. I swear that's the truth, Olivia. I don't know who did it.
And what are the police doing about it?
Oh, they've been all over the house. Told the family that none of us could leave town. They even had Henry and Alice over and questioned them thoroughly.
Was Poirot with them?
Yes, but he didn't say much. Just went around shaking his head and peering into corners. But why are you so interested? You... Olivia.
What, darling?
Olivia, where were you last night? You broke a date with me.
So I did.
Olivia, where were you?
Oh, Lawrence, you're stupid to ask me. You won't like it when I tell you.
I want to know, where were you?
All right. I had dinner with your biggest rival for my affections, Stuart Charles. And a very interesting dinner, too.
I don't believe you.
It's easy enough to check. Just call Stuart, not? Lawrence, that man over there with the mustache. Quick, who is he?
Where? What? Why, that's it.
Poirot, of course.
Yes.
Oh, you fool, you stupid, blundering fool. You let him follow you here.
But, Olivia, I didn't know. You can't blame me.
We're going to walk out of here together. When we get to Fifth Avenue, you can turn downtown. I'll turn uptown. After that, I don't care what happens to you. But I promise you one thing. Mr. Poirot won't be able to stay with me.
But, Olivia...
Come on.
Henry, darling, I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to get rid of a man.
As I remember it, Olivia, that was always your trouble.
Oh, but this is different. A different kind of a man. As a matter of fact, I got rid of him mainly because of you.
Well, now, that was very considerate of you, Olivia. But you seem to forget that I don't object any longer if you bring someone else along when you meet me.
I didn't bring him along, darling. He was following me. And his name was Poirot.
All right, Olivia, what do you want?
Information. Tell me how you killed Amelia.
If I had, I wouldn't be fool enough to tell you.
Henry, don't you ever get bored with that dull wife of yours?
That is an interesting question, Mademoiselle Olivia.
Oh!
But I feel that I can give the answer.
I was sure I'd shaken you off.
But of course, that was the impression I wanted you to have.
What's the big idea, Olivia? Is this something you're trying to spring on me?
Monsieur, I assure you that this is one time that Mademoiselle Olivia is completely innocent. She had no idea when she telephoned you that she was arranging an appointment for 3. Tell me, monsieur, why did you meet Mademoiselle?
Why should I?
Because it is most important. Mademoiselle Olivia is involved in a plot. In this plot, she has 2 assistants. One of them I already know. The other I am seeking.
Well, that's ridiculous. That's the most absurd story I ever heard. A plot. Really, Mr. Poirot, your mind is much too melodramatic.
But of course, mademoiselle. We have had a murder and many threats. That is not melodrama, eh, mademoiselle?
A murder? Was that two?
Ah, no, only one. Marie is in perfect health.
She's what?
And now, will you tell me why you consented to meet, mademoiselle?
Because of Alice, Mr. Poirot.
Oh, Henry, darling, that's funny. It's too funny.
Strangely enough, mademoiselle, that is the one reason that I will accept.
Thank you, Mr. Poirot. You know how Alice feels about our marriage. She's worried all the time because she thinks she isn't beautiful.
How right she is.
She has more charm and sweetness in her little finger than you have in your whole glamorous makeup, Olivia. Mr. Poirot, you can see for yourself that this girl is a troublemaker. She's always been that way. When she phoned me and told me that she had something interesting to tell me, I thought I'd better meet her and see what mischief she was cooking up now.
I see.
I wonder if you do, Mr. Poirot. I could hardly call your progress startling up to this point.
And you are right, mademoiselle. But there have been too many cooks in the mischief in this case. It is time that Hercule Poirot took over the cooking. And I assure you, I shall cook the goose of the murderer. Stephen, take your feet from the desk and come with me.
Where are we going? What are you up to, Poirot?
I have been making assignations.
What are you talking about? We have a murderer to catch.
Precisely, mon ami. A murderer who killed for hate and love. And therefore, I, Hercule Poirot, have been playing Cupid.
Excuse me, Poirot, if I say this is the first time I've ever seen Cupid with a mustache.
But of course, monsieur. And I assure you that I am not particularly proud of the role. In this case, I am bringing together two people whom I dislike. But come, I have set events in motion which should catch the criminal.
All right, but I wish you'd tell me what you're going to do. There are too many suspects in this case, Poirot. Any one of the family could have done it. Not one of them has an alibi for last night.
And do not overlook Mademoiselle Olivia. She is a most dangerous woman.
Now, look, if you know who did it, let's arrest him and get it over with.
A miracle, a taxi.
Huh?
Taxi!
Where are we going?
298 Preston Drive, please.
That's where Henry Baldwin lives. Is he the guy who did it?
Mon ami, I do not think that Monsieur Baldwin is at home.
Poirot, will you please tell me what's going on?
Monsieur Stevens, I told you that I am not proud of what I have done, eh? But murder is a crime which calls for any action.
And what did you do?
I think, Stevens, I have sent out an invitation to murder.
Henry. Why, what on earth brings you here? I'm so surprised I'm forgetting my manners. Come in.
Stop acting, Olivia. You know very well you sent for me.
Darling, you out of your mind? I did nothing of the sort. I'd hardly send for you when I expect Lawrence in a very few minutes. And I don't think he'll be very pleased to find you here.
Well, then what's this, a gag?
It's a telephone message, obviously. It says that you're to come over here right away. Henry, I swear to you I didn't call you.
Olivia, if you're lying to me...
Oh, I twist my arm. But look at me. Henry, I didn't send that message.
All right. I believe you. But who did?
I don't know. Somebody is trying to involve us in something.
I'd better get out of here before Lawrence shows up.
It couldn't have been Lawrence.
I don't care who it was. I don't want
Henry,
him...
Do you think Poirot could have done it?
What? Why would he do a thing like that?
I don't know, unless he thinks that...
Thinks what?
That I killed him.
Why would he send me a message to bring me here?
I don't know. But, Henry, I'm glad. Aren't you?
I'm getting out of here.
What are you afraid of, Henry?
I'm afraid of a lot of things.
Of course you are. You've always loved me, darling. You know, in your heart, you'd have married me in a minute if only Amelia had had the brains not to object to our marriage instead of trying to throw us together.
That's not true.
Isn't it? Isn't it, Henry? Oh, darling.
Lawrence.
No, it's not Lawrence. Me, Alice.
I can explain, Alice.
You don't have to explain, Henry. Just what I always knew.
Alice!
Henry, make her put down that knife.
No, Olivia. I used this knife once before.
No, don't say it.
Yes, Henry. I killed Aunt Amelia. I always hated her. She was evil. And she hated me for marrying you. She tried every way she could to ruin our life. I never thought of killing her until that dreadful day when someone put the idea in my mind. It was Marie.
I did that, Alice. We wanted to frighten Amelia into giving us some money. We never thought of murder.
Funny, isn't it? You should put the idea of murder into my head.
I'm going to kill you, Olivia. You'll never have Henry. You're not going to live, Olivia.
Put the knife down, Madame Alice.
Yes, drop it.
So it's with you. With you all the time. With you who sent me the note telling me I'd find Henry here.
Yes, Madame. I had to make you drop your mask and come out in the open. Reveal yourself. As I said to Madame Emilia the other day, murder cannot be private.
Be sure to listen next week when Agatha Christie, America's favorite mystery writer, brings you her favorite detective, Hercule Poirot, starring Harold Huber in The Bride Wore Fright. Music for Hercule Poirot is composed and conducted by Sylvan Levin. The program is directed by Carl Eastman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, if this story doesn't have a basis in the Agatha Christie canon, it certainly could have. With the victim here in this case, definitely one of those characters that you have to spend 5 or 6 chapters with, waiting for her inevitable demise. Which was, inevitable. That was one reason why I didn't think, when you're dealing with a Christie story, I did not think that we were missing a whole lot when we missed Poirot learning that the murder has occurred. Because we've all been expecting it since the start of the show. But other than the missing clip, this was a good episode. We do now we have some listener comments and feedback I want to share with you. The first one comes from Tim, who emails in, I just listened to Poirot, the rendezvous with death on the way into work. I'm not sure that someone has told you, but in case they have not, the reason that this plot was so good is that Agatha Christie wrote it. The basic plot was directly lifted from Death on the Nile, one of my favorite Poirot mysteries. David Suchet did a video adaptation, but my favorite one is with Peter Ustinov as Poirot. You ought to watch it if you haven't already. Well, thanks a lot, Tim. Of course, it has been mentioned before, but this is I think the second or third recommendation of the Ustinov film I've heard. The only Ustinov film I've actually seen was Evil Under the Sun, and I like Suchet better than Ustinov from what I've seen. But with the second recommendation, I'll add that to my Netflix queue in the near future. I'll probably give myself some space from the radio episode just to make sure that I don't spoil the plot for myself by having it too much in mind. But thanks so much for the recommendation. Tim goes on to say, I love the Poirot series. I hope there are many to listen to. Keep up the super work. Well, thanks so much, Tim. Unfortunately, next week's will be our last episode, and then we'll be moving to Crime on the Waterfront. Finally, though, we do have a review. This one comes off of iTunes. I love the shows, the variety in the background, and other information about these excellent shows. Keep up the wonderful work. Well, thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate it. We're up to 136 ratings on iTunes. And I encourage you, if you like the show, to rate us on iTunes. It does help folks to see what people's overall opinion is of the show. And we appreciate reviews, but just plain ratings are helpful as well. All right, well, that will do it for today. We will be back tomorrow with Let George Do It, and then join us next week for our final adventure with Mr. Poirot. Well, I do want to encourage you, if you've not already, pick up a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo. In it, we take a look at 7 great detectives, and we draw life lessons from their history and careers. Among the detectives featured are Nero Wolfe, Boston Blackie, Sherlock Holmes, Columbo, and Monk. It is available on Amazon for your Kindle, or if you've got a Kindle reading app or device like the iPhone or iPad,
And in all other ebook formats, it's available at smashwords.com. All right, I do want to mention here, just because this is the soonest after this occurred I could record it, there was a little bit of a technical mishap on episodes 656 and 657, which was an episode of Barrie, Craig, and one of Poirot that were not quite as announced. We fixed the issue, so I posted this on Facebook, but if you've had the problem and you've not heard yet, just go ahead and re-download it. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode. I'll let George do it. The Public Eye.
Personal notice. Changes my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California, on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West, invite you to Let George Do It. The Public Eye, a transcribed adventure of George Valentine.
My dear Mr. Valentine, my husband is Ferrell Pearson, so I'm sure you'll realize at once the importance of my letter. If you've lived long in this city or state, you must be aware of his position in politics as well as in business. Unfortunately, when you're in the public eye as we are, you're also at the public's mercy. A reputation of spotless integrity sometimes needs protection from the dangerous, selfish fools who do exist in this world. Mr. Valentine, we need your protection immediately. Come as fast as you can to our home. And please, please, don't mention this request to a single person. Sincerely.
Well, there. You've mentioned it to me, haven't you?
Mr. Pearson, it concerns you.
Of course, young man. I didn't mean to bar your path. Come in.
Oh, thank you.
We're very busy here, you know. People constantly coming to the door. Always something. It's a great trial. No one realizes.
Yes, it must be. Well, what is this matter that your wife...
The letter? No, don't bother me. I'm a very busy man, just on my way downtown.
But it says you need protection.
My dear Miss Brooks, Ferrell Pearson needs only the protection of his own conscience. It's not for us to admit to fear, is it, Mr. Valentine? That's for the ladies.
What?
Spoken like a fool? All right, have it your own way, but whatever it is, you take it up with my wife.
But don't you even know...
She handles all these little matters. Besides, I'm giving a speech tonight. So nice to meet you both. Come again sometime.
But wait a minute. If you can't be bothered, at least tell us where your wife is.
She'll take care of it. She always does. She's standing right behind you. Goodbye, dear.
Hello, Mr. Valentine. This way, please.
Oh, I didn't notice you were there, Mrs. Pearson. Sorry.
It often happens. In here. Your husband's study? No, mine. Sit down. I can give you 15 minutes.
You can?
It takes 2 secretaries just to handle mail alone, and booking his speeches gets pretty involved. And Ferrell's thinking of running for office again, you know.
Yes, so I've read. And I've heard some of those after-dinner speeches of his, too. Lots of words and big smiles. And very little else.
Well, we're not here to argue politics, are we, Mr. Valentine?
Oh, I'm not being nasty. I'm just curious, that's all. He's the great purity man. Only passing him just now, he smelled a little more human.
I assure you my husband only drinks at his doctor's suggestion for relaxation.
Oh, yes, I'm sure, but we'll skip that. Why are we here, Mrs. Pearson?
He certainly didn't seem to be worried about any threatening person.
He doesn't know as much about it as I do. I've handled all the details.
I gather you do that about everything. What are these details?
We have a country place in the 5 Lakes resort area. Spend the weekends there. In exactly an hour and a half, Mr. Valentine, you are supposed to meet someone by the name of Baines. He apparently has a room at the 5 Lakes Hotel.
Baines, huh? What am I supposed to do? Read his fortune?
Here. It's a printed note.
6 o'clock tonight, room 20, 5 Lakes Hotel. Expect to make the delivery then. Signed, Baines.
Obviously a false name. Whoever it
Hold
is.
it, please. Make delivery of what?
Mr. Valentine, I'm asking you to serve as a representative in my husband's place. You're more used to this sort of thing.
Well, now, let's be a little more honest with each other. Your husband's being blackmailed, is that it?
Well,
So what's the delivery? Pictures? Letters? And how much money am I supposed to take along to pay for them?
$50,000. We just don't have that kind of money.
Well, who does? Yeah, it must be quite a skeleton in the closet.
You're supposed to find out more about this man Baines. What he's doing is against the law. There must be some way to stop him without paying him so much.
Look, lady, what is the skeleton? What else has this guy written?
You don't have to know anything about it. We're in the public eye. Everything we do is...
And never mind that we stuff. You're trying to wash your husband's dirty linen, and you know it. Now, what did he do? Take one too many, get a snoot full, get his picture taken, or did he...
It's a woman. What do you think?
Well, it was pretty obvious, Mrs. Pearson. But I do think you better tell us.
Oh, I don't know. He does drink too much sometimes. He gets mixed up with people.
A woman named Baines?
No. Baines is apparently a man who knows about it, that's all. He wrote and said he knew. My husband told me that what Baines said was right.
Okay, guy working with the girl. But who's the
I don't know anything about her. I don't want to. It was last weekend. He went out one night and... Well, it's all over.
All right, Miss Pearson. I'm beginning to get the idea. Great guy, your husband.
It's not his fault. He works so hard. He tries not to drink, but once in a while...
What I meant was his handing it all to you.
Yes, when we saw him, he talked as though it wasn't even important. He didn't look that way, I know, but even so...
Her name is Estelle something. I knew about it. I couldn't help knowing. Why shouldn't I handle it? He can't afford to be seen anywhere doing anything.
Can't even pull his own chestnuts out of the fire, huh? Any guy who walks into one like that...
No, listen, please. You've got to understand. His career is the most important thing in the world to us. I've been his secretary and his wife for years.
You've learned how to grit your teeth and only think of the career. Is that right?
I wish you'd leave your detecting up to getting him out of this.
All right, Mrs. Pearson. We all have to live, I guess.
There isn't much time. I'll tell you what I know. And there have been phone calls from Baines. I have some numbers. If you could check them before you talk to him.
Miss Brooks will do that and phone me. Now, pull yourself together and run over those facts straight. Your pure and shining husband is a dope, Mrs. Pearson. Never mind. There's a girl named Steph. Baines? Mr. Baines. Oh, it'd be hard to get. Hey, Baines! Aren't you curious whether I brought the suckers 50,000 or not? All right, come on out of there. Don't be so bad.
All right, come on.
Oh.
Wake up, sweetheart. This is no park bench. Come on.
What are you talking about?
On your feet. You're cluttering up the rug.
Oh, lay off, will you? I like it here.
I haven't got all day. Now, come on.
Take it easy. You Baines?
I'm Chester. Who's Baines?
Guy who hits people. Good host, friendly type.
Here, take a drink of this. Make you speak English.
I'd rather stay ignorant. Hey, let go.
I'm sorry, Mr. Valentine. It's a job, that's all.
Oh. You the one took my wallet?
Yeah. No good pictures, anyway.
A couple of George Washington.
I didn't touch your money.
All right, Buster, all right. Who are you? What's going on?
Chester, not Buster. I'm the house dick.
Oh, sorry, friend. Well, look, what became of the guy who took this from? His name's Baines, all right.
You already said that. It's a little hard to recognize it.
Huh?
Must have been quite a fight you guys had. What'd you hit him with, a grand piano?
What did I hit?
Look at him. Dead on a mackerel.
Now, Now, listen, I was unconscious, wasn't I? So he got smacked over the head. That doesn't mean that I did it.
Doesn't mean anything. You could have been faking, could have passed out. I got a job to do. Got to call the cops.
Look, I just walked into this frame-up. I'm just a patsy, that's all.
I don't add any farther than 2 and 2, Mr.
Well, then get away from that phone. Here, let's take a look at this guy's pocket.
No, you don't. Now, who are you working for, Mr. Valentine?
Somebody never heard of fair employment practice.
Will you tell me what you do know about this?
Sure, less than you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you didn't kill him, you're at least a material witness. We've got a hotel reputation.
But I got a job to do, Buster.
I'm sorry. Hello, desk. Chester here. Get me the police in town. Step on it. You better tell the boss
Makes
to...
all of us sorry, Buster! How to make friends and influence people. The rug's all yours, house dick. I went out to fire escape.
George, you crazy.
5
stupid.
lakes. In a burg like this, I'd be locked up for weeks.
Oh, you'd rather have months for resisting arrest.
Be quiet, Angel. I got the wallet off the other guy.
Baines?
Yeah. That really is his name, apparently. He lives down the road here.
But aren't you going back to see Mrs. Pearson? I mean, she got you into this. She must know more
I'd
than
rather
she...
see this Estelle. She sounds like the type we could get a little farther with.
Did Baines have any letters about her or pictures or...
No, that doesn't mean anything either. He'd no more bring that stuff to a meeting like that than I'd bring the money. Here, turn right. Guy owns a garage.
A garage?
Yeah, that's what his wallet says. I'm a lot more interested in his house on Pine Road. That's where it is. If he knew enough to blackmail Pearson, then what do you want to bet we'll find Estelle right there in his
George,
house?
it's Pearson we should find. He left their house before you did. He could have been the one who came up here to 5
The
Lakes
big
and...
politician slugging people and framing murders? Try again, Angel. I got a hunch this case isn't going to be as simple as any way you look at it.
Estelle, I never heard of such a person, I tell you. What's this all about?
But this is where Baines lives, isn't it?
For 25 years, and he's never been out of the place. That make you happy? And you needn't look like you don't believe me either, because I know. I'm his wife.
You're...
Huh?
Oh. Now, what's happened? What is it?
You'll find out later, I guess, Mrs. Baines. I was just in a hurry to locate this place.
Estelle, I know. You told me. Well, take it from me, mister. Baines ain't the type to get mixed up with any girl. Besides, in a town this size, I can write you a guarantee there just ain't any such person as Estelle anybody. Never was. Not even among the weekend people.
You mean you know everyone and everything?
Listen. What's that? Sirens, ain't it? Must be the sheriff's car.
Okay, Mrs. Baines. Thanks anyway.
But wait, listen. Mister, please. Baines ain't in trouble, is he? What is it? Will you please tell me what...
Lady, I wish I had time to explain, but I don't.
Come on, hurry up, George.
But my husband...
I'm sorry, lady. Maybe he was in trouble, but he's not anymore. Those sirens, I'm afraid, are for me.
We'll return to tonight's adventure, George Valentine, in just a moment. Do you know how long it's been since your car's battery has had a drink of water? Batteries do get thirsty, you know. And unless the water level is checked every 2 or 3 weeks, you may be heading towards trouble. You see, lack of water is one of the biggest reasons why they get weak. That's why it's a good idea to let the car savers check your battery regularly. They like to take care of your battery because it's just plain good business for them to help you avoid the nuisance of a feeble battery or the expense of buying a new one. Car savers also make a hydrometer test of each cell, and that gives you an exact check on the health of your battery. Above all, they watch for corrosion, because a corroded cable won't let even a good battery deliver full power. All this special attention to details is just part of the vital car saver service offered you at independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations, where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now, back to tonight's adventure of George Valentine. If your name is George Valentine, right now you'd just as soon it weren't, because George Valentine is the man who slugged a resort hotel house detective and ran away from arrest for murder. The murder of Mr. Baines, a blackmailer. No, you don't enjoy being a fugitive, particularly when you don't know whom to trust.
There, that's the Pearson place. Wife said they come out here every weekend.
I don't see any lights.
Oh, but I was with her, you remember? And she said she'd take a taxi out later to meet her husband here.
Yeah, but I don't like
George,
it.
George, there are lights, see?
Huh?
On the side.
Pearson, side porch. Just getting out of his car.
He's going in the house. Oh, George, you've got to see him. He's the only one who can tell you about this Estelle and about Baines.
If there is an Estelle, who says there is one?
But Mrs. Pearson said...
And Mrs. Baines said there wasn't. Angel, listen, when the politician's wife got us into this, she was so busy trying to hide her feelings and overlook her husband's escapade
But you think maybe she didn't know the truth herself? That the blackmail really...
Yeah, something like that. He was pretty anxious to avoid us, I noticed.
Well, but that's all the more reason for going in there and talking...
Sticking my head in a meat chopper, you mean? Pearson may be a fraud, Brooksy, a bag of wind who should have stayed in a locker room instead of foisting himself off on the public. But he's still got influence. He could still get me thrown in jail so fast I wouldn't even know what happened. And never get a chance to find out what happened either. Come on.
What? But, George, if you
Pearson's
really think...
inside now. No, his car, Angel, not him.
His car?
Yeah, the plates. Ever see an ambitious big shot with such a long license number?
Oh. Or such a short car.
Yeah. Oh, 5 Lakes Garage. That's not an agency. They don't sell cars at the... Wait a minute.
Here's the flashlight, George.
Thanks. Registered owner Anthony J. Baines.
It's Baines' car.
Come on, let's get out of here.
But why would he have
Step on
Baines?
it fast. 5 Lakes Garage, huh?
Where? Oh, George, you're not going to the middle of town. Baines' garage is right in the middle
Oh,
of
yes,
town.
I am, Brooksy. Because the only reason I can think of for Pearson driving a car from the garage is that Pearson's own car is in that garage. Here we are. Alley down to the left.
Wait a minute, George.
Huh?
Policeman.
Duck in there to the left, quick.
Have any luck, Sheriff?
Yeah, not so far.
If I find him first myself, paying back for that shiner.
Shiner, huh? Chester, you got goggles. If you wasn't so slow on your feet, you wouldn't have...
Oh, shut up, will you? I'm gonna break this.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Could you tell me which way is Elm Street?
Why, surely, it's right
Wait a
down-
minute. I saw you under the streetlight. You were with a man, weren't you? Where is he?
What? Oh, yes. I mean, I was walking alone and I stopped a man to ask him about Elm Street, but he didn't tell me. He just kept on going.
Hey, what do he look like? Tall, sort of young, husky, dark coat?
Yes, that's right. Why?
It's Valentine. Come on.
Who? Well, he went down that way to the right. He seemed to be in a
Yeah,
hurry.
thanks,
But
lady.
where's Elm? Oh, dear.
You're standing on it, lady.
Get into the alley, George. Hurry.
Relax, Angel. Bloodhounds went that way.
Oh, George, hurry up with that lock. Now they'll be looking for me again.
There we go. Back into the garage.
Yeah. You want the flashlight, George?
Yeah.
Hey, there aren't any cars on the service.
Hold it. There is one back here.
Where? I don't see.
Through the window. Door must be from the lube rack on the other side.
Oh,
Separate parking garage.
black sedan.
Uh-huh. The cobwebs you can't. Yeah, look. Nice gilt initials on the door. F.P.
Pearson's car, George.
Tucked out of sight. Nothing much wrong with it, except that headlight.
What?
Yeah. The fender's a little smashed in front.
Nobody's been working on it. Why would Baines hide that car back here and... George, are you smoking?
No, I'm not. Too much gasoline around and oil on the floor.
Oh, it is smoke, George.
Huh?
It's coming from the wall.
Hey,
Let's
get out of here. Run, Brooksy. Oh, brother, that does it.
Oh, now you're not only wanted for murder, but they'll think you started that fire, too. Oh, George.
Don't
what
talk so much, Angel. I'm going to start a fire, and right now. And at last, I think I know who's going to burn. 'Cause 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 'cause
call nothing on the front pages, mister.
Might have been about a week ago, friend. Must be in your news file someplace.
A week ago,
Yeah,
George?
files ain't complete, you know. People come in, tear out crossword puzzles.
A week ago was the night Pearson went out, wasn't it? When his wife said the whole business started? And the great man soaked up a few too many and got in trouble.
Here. Try these. Guess you must be the people who make up them puzzles, huh?
Oh, I confuse myself more, Buster. But, Brooksy, suppose he didn't get mixed up with a girl that night. Suppose the garage man was blackmailing him for something else. Something even more dangerous for a guy in the public eye. Something that would cause a broken headlight and a
Wait a
smashed
minute, George,
fender.
wait a minute.
Yeah, hold your breath. Looks like the lady found a bargain here.
Second section, George. A story about a bus driver getting off a bus.
Huh?
You were right. It must be. Around midnight. There were no witnesses, and police have no leads. It was the bus driver's own fault, apparently, only that was it. The man was killed, George. Run into and killed by a hit-run driver.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Pearson.
Yes, it's... Oh, Mr. Valentine, where are you? What on earth goes on? The police have been here. They're looking for
Take
you.
it easy, take it easy. I've been out with Estelle.
You what? Who?
That name you dreamed up.
I don't understand. Estelle was the girl that Farrell said
All right. So he dreamed it up. I don't care. It was the obvious thing to tell me. People think blackmail girl a lot faster than they do blackmail car.
Car? Mr. Valentine, for heaven's
Hit
sake.
run, lady. A week ago. Your husband's car. Well, I just wanted to tell you I've seen the evidence. It got burned up, of course, before I could show it to anybody.
I don't understand.
But I still saw it.
Mr.
And I thought I'd better
Valentine.
tell...
Give me that phone.
No, wait.
Now give it to me. I can still handle some things in this house.
Hey, what's going on there?
I am. I just got back from downtown and see here,
Listen, be
Valentine.
quiet, will you? Downtown, huh?
Valentine, I've got to see you. It's not clear exactly in my mind what did happen last week.
Sure, you drink so much. Save the stories. I'll see you all right.
But get over here. Don't just...
I'll see you in cabin 10, Paradise Motel. And I'll give you 10 minutes to get here.
What? Paradise Motel?
There are too many cops around your place for my blood pressure. But don't bring any of them with you.
Why on earth would I?
And don't play so dumb, and don't send your wife. Because get this straight, friend. My assistant, Miss Brooks, isn't with me. Never mind where she is. But she knows what I know. And if you try anything funny, she tells the newspapers.
Valentine.
Yeah, you're being blackmailed, all right, Buster. This time by me. Come in, Mr. Pearson.
Get back in there, Rover.
Chester.
A surprise, huh, my boy? It's me.
How did you crawl out of the woodwork?
I crawled after you, stupid. I've been following you. My friend, the deputy sheriff, is out waiting in the car, but he says I can have you first.
Now, look, muscle-bound.
I want to ask questions. I'm not interested in that. Crimes, you solve them. Me, I just don't like to get poked on.
Buster, listen, I'm expecting a guy named Pearson.
Sure, a big bag of wind. I know him, but that's not my...
He's got the answers. You want the answers, don't you? Look, I poked you and got you into a little trouble for letting me loose, but
no,
that doesn't...
I'm not interested. Besides, Pearson won't tell you anything. Wife's the only one with any brains in that family. I know. She built him out of a silver voice and a hollow leg. But he couldn't even remember what time it is.
Shut up, will you? There is somebody outside.
Yeah, the deputy sheriff. No, Mr. Valentine, I'm afraid your party's over, so pick up your hat. Look out there.
All right. I'm not going to try anything this time. Besides, I'm wrong, huh?
What do you mean?
About Pearson. About everything. Another way it could work, isn't there?
Oh, get ya.
A garage man was the blackmailer. That's all I know for a fact. I saw the notes. But I don't know who they were addressed to. Say, where did you meet Pearson's wife? How long have you known her?
What?
Oh, yeah. I pick up as I go along. Just trying to emphasize, that's all. Well, it's 12 minutes now. Nobody's shown up. Guess she talked Pearson out of coming. Or is he out there? Which one do you work for?
You'll say almost anything, won't you?
Getting interested, huh? I was hired for a patsy to walk into a ridiculous setup where I'd be charged with the murder of Baines. I advertised, so I asked for it. Only it's not as silly as it sounds. He was a blackmailer, and in the circumstances, if I kept my mouth shut, I'd get off on self-defense.
Go on.
Oh, you like this, huh? All right. The only trouble was I got stubborn and knocked you out before Chapter 2 could be organized. I tore around, spotted the hit-run car, and figured it out before the garage could be burned. Now, I'm on a step 2. I don't cooperate. Like I point out that arranging Baines's death was an almost impossible job. Except for somebody on the inside of the hotel like you.
You talk too much. I tried to get you to listen to me, but...
Sure. Johnny on the spot, that's you. Always. Right there in Baines' room. Right there, just greeting the deputy sheriff at the time of the fire. Right here, right now.
Never miss a trick, that's me.
Now, which one do you work for? The stupid husband who goes on a secret tear once in a while and can't remember? Or is it you and the wife? Is that the way it works? I suppose I can find out easily enough. Just see who's out in that car waiting for you.
Get away from the door.
All right, it's the wife. You and her, huh? What happened? 2 of you in the car that night when you hit a man and ran? Is that the secret that's so important?
Just step over this way, detective.
Getting mad. I'm getting close. Big secret to keep from Farrell Pearson. That career his wife makes so much of. She wouldn't want to risk her hold on him, I guess. Only what percentage do you get? How do you and listen?
Oh, shut up. You said too much already.
Yeah. Hey, you picked the wrong boy when you got me.
We don't have to keep you.
Oh, relax. I figured that out. I know what you think you're going to do.
I got a job to worry about. You're under arrest.
Say it real quick, then shoot fast.
Get moving, I told you.
Resisting arrest. Too bad I had to shoot him, Sheriff.
Stop reading my mind.
It's in Braille. How can I help it?
You asked for it.
Look out, you. Come on. Reprieve.
I'll take care of it.
This was your mistake the first time, remember? Oh, brother, saved by the bell. Thanks, Brooksy. You rang me just in time to... Hello? Brooksy?
Hello? Is this Mabel's Laundry?
George, Mr. Pearson keeps calling.
Let him solve his own problems. He's had the wool pulled over his eyes so long it hurts.
He's pulled some wool himself, George, thinking he can run for office.
I know. Dumb guy who just liked to be able to drink with the boys and can't. Or couldn't until his wife went a little too far trying to protect her pitch.
I wonder if he ever did fully realize what was going on. I mean, her and that Chester and that hit run that might have exposed them, but he just thought it was another problem. Let his wife take care of it.
Well, she took care of herself, I'm afraid. Letting dumb Chester pull a murder to get him out of the spot they were in. But Pearson didn't have anything to do with it. Gullible, that's all. A dope. Let his wife wear the pants.
What?
Yeah, make a career out of him. Make money out of him. Make a sucker out of him.
Well, it seems to me if anybody was picked for a sucker in this case...
Never mind. Besides, I'm different. I'm not in the public eye.
I know. Private. Keep out.
Listen to the difference. In a few seconds, you will hear Geiger counters measuring automobile engine wear. The engines are equipped with irradiated piston rings, which make it possible for the Geiger counters to detect wear as it occurs. You will hear authentic scientific proof that new RPM motor oil cuts in half the wear rate of critical engine parts, doubles the life of the average auto engine between major overhauls due to lubrication. First, let's listen to the Geiger counter slowly click off the low wear rate of new RPM. Now, the much faster wear rate of a premium type oil, as designated by the American Petroleum Institute. Now, new RPM again. You have just heard Geiger counters clicking off the scientific proof that new RPM motor oil is years ahead. Yes, new RPM doubles engine life between major overhauls due to lubrication. Try it. Sold with a money-back guarantee of satisfaction at independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. Tonight's transcribed adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It is written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Don Clark. Herb Butterfield was heard as Pearson, Georgia Backus as Mrs. Pearson, Noreen Gamil as Mrs. Baines, Bill Conrad as Chester, and Franklin Parker as the sheriff. This music was composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service.
This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, I guess a politician getting himself into trouble as a plot, I think is almost a timeless plot. What's, of course, really interesting here, if you listen to a lot of old-time radio, you'll inevitably end up listening to a lot of Bill Conrad. It is such a recognizable voice. It's kind of funny, too, because I've gotten to be a fan of Cannon. That's one of the series I've been watching on Netflix, not on the Instant Watch, but on DVD. So every time I hear the voice now, I'm thinking, oh, that's Cannon. But it's fascinating just how many shows he works his way into. Well, we turn now to listener comments and email. Kevin says, I've been a fan of old-time radio for many years, although I didn't get to enjoy any of it in its original broadcast day. I enjoy the many detective shows you present, and thank you for your efforts in this area. I like your show observation and background as well. I've often wondered when I listen to Let George Do It, if Standard ever got flack about the irradiated piston rings. Surely that didn't really happen, but I think it would still have generated some negative reactions. Very interesting. Thank you again for your enjoyable program. From Kevin in Fort Collins. Well, Kevin, I'm not certain what they'd get in trouble for, because irradiating piston rings is a legitimate way of testing engine wear. And just a quick search online, and yeah, this is something that's still done. HowStuffWorks.com, a wide variety of different sources. So this one is definitely a legitimate way to go. Yeah, thanks for the comment. He also adds he has relatives over in Nampa, which is definitely a small world situation, because Nampa is it's less than 30 miles from me where I live. So thanks so much for listening out there in Fort Collins. All right, well, that will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes. And then join us next Wednesday for another episode of Let George Do It. In the meantime, be sure to fill out our listener survey, survey.greatdetectives.net. Rate the show over on iTunes. We've got 130 plus ratings. We'd appreciate getting yours. Even without a review, ratings definitely help. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your financial support. Well, today's episode of Sherlock Holmes is based on the only story from the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes short story collection I didn't like too much. So we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards, but here now is A Case of Identity.
From New York City, the makers of Clipper Craft Clothes for Men and 1,036 leading retail stores from coast to coast present the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. This week's adventure, A Case of Identity. Well, here we are, as usual, about to pay our weekly respects to our favorite raconteur, the good Dr. Watson. What about tonight's story, Doctor?
Tonight I have prepared a little challenge for you and our radio friends. Yes, the story I'm going to tell is one of Holmes' more mental adventures. It has its bizarre moments, of course, but still, all in all, its solution is fairly obvious. As you know, Holmes was the world's greatest master of the science of deduction. As a matter of fact, he unraveled this particular problem without moving from his armchair. I wonder how many of our listeners have learned enough of Holmes' methods to do the same.
Well, I think I can make a fair stab at it, Doctor, if the clues aren't too involved, that is.
Oh, no. All the clues are right out in plain sight, Mr. Harris. All you have to do is listen for them and make your own deductions. Oh, but before we become too involved with hidden clues, hadn't we better discuss a few clues to the secret of good grooming without straining the pocketbook?
Good idea, Doctor. If you need a fine new suit for business or a good-looking sport jacket for weekend wear and really want your dollars to do double duty, here's how. Insist on Clipper Craft Clothes. Famous for stretching your dollars, for giving you positively amazing value, is the fine local independent store in your community that sells Clipper Craft. Despite rising costs of materials and manufacturing, you can still buy long-wearing, beautifully tailored Clipper Craft suits for only $40 to $47.50. Luxurious tropical worsteds for only $33.75 to $40, and smart sport jackets for only $26.50. It's the Clipper Craft plan and the Clipper Craft plan alone that makes Clipper Craft clothes possible at these low prices. Concentrating the buying power of 1,036 of the nation's finest stores from coast to coast, providing steady year-round operation, reducing manufacturing and distribution costs. And the savings go to you. Simply compare Clipper Craft with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, back to the adventure you think we should be able to solve for ourselves.
Right, Mr. Harris. It was during the middle years of our joint occupancy of the lodgings in Baker Street. Holmes and I sat relaxed in two easy chairs on either side of the living room fire. Holmes' long legs stretched out in front of him, his head wreathed in the smoke from his favorite pipe, a horrible black, greasy old clay affair that he coddled as if it were a child. Well, we had just finished an excellent breakfast, and Holmes was in the philosophic mood that so often accompanies the process of digestion.
Strange thing, life, eh, Watson? Infinitely stranger than anything the mind of man could invent.
Yes, I know that's one of your pet theories, and I dare you to put it to the test. Now, take today's paper. If you can find anything bizarre in that, I'll buy you a new smoking jacket.
I don't want a new smoking jacket, Watson, but I'll take up your challenge. Choose any article, any paragraph at all on this page, and I'll guarantee to find something outlandish.
Very well. Here, take the very first heading. Husband's cruelty to his wife. Now, there's a half column of print about that, but I know what it's about almost without reading it. There's the other woman, the drink, the push, the blow. No writer could invent anything more crude or commonplace.
Your example, Watson, happens to be rather unfortunate. The husband was a teetotaler. There was no other woman, and the cruelty complained of was that he had the habit of winding up every meal by taking out his false teeth and hurling them at his wife, which you'll allow is an action any literary man would hardly be able to make believable.
Well, maybe so, but that's just an exception.
Life is made up of exceptions, Watson. There's one now, standing on the pavement on the opposite side of the street.
You mean that large, Hebe-like young woman with the enormous boa around her neck and the curling red feather in her hat?
Yes.
Look how she oscillates backward and forward, and the way she fidgets with her glove buttons.
Oscillation on the pavement always means an affaire de coeur. She would like advice, but it's not sure that the matter may not be too delicate for communication.
She's decided to take the plunge. Here she comes across the road like a swimmer leaving the bank. I say perhaps she's been seriously wronged.
No, Watson. In that case, the woman no longer oscillates. She pulls out the bell wire to the front door. You hear that, Watson? Decidedly fluttery. The maiden is not so much angry as perplexed and possibly grieved. Oh, but here she comes. Come in, come in.
I hope I'm not intruding. This is Mr. Sherlock Holmes, the detective.
Yes. Won't you sit down? This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
Pleased to meet you.
Delighted.
My dear young lady, don't you find that with your short sight it's a little trying to do so much typewriting?
Oh, I did at first, and that's a fact. But I've got so now I know where the letters are without Oh, but how did you know? Someone's told you about me.
Oh, don't look so alarmed, my dear. That's just a bit of detection. Mr. Holmes can tell things like that by looking at you. It's his way of showing off.
Oh, I see, but it did take me aback, your knowing things like that.
It's my business to know things. I knew you used the typewriter from the appearance of your fingertips and the double line pressed into the plush above your wrists. It was equally obvious that you're nearsighted from the marks left on either side of the nose by your pince-nez. So you see, my dear Miss...
My name's Sutherland, Mary Sutherland.
So you see, my dear Miss Sutherland, there's nothing terrifying in my conclusions.
Well, no, not when you explain it like that.
And now, perhaps you'll tell me why you came away to consult me in such a hurry that you managed to put on 2 odd shoes.
Why, bless my soul, so I did. The right one's my Sunday pair.
Yes, you must have been rather agitated when you left home.
Yes, I did bang out of the house, and who wouldn't? It made me fair angry to see the easy way Mr. Windybanks, oh, that's my father, took it all. He wouldn't go to the police. He just sat there and said there was no harm done and everything would come right in the end. So finally I got mad and told Father I was coming to you myself.
You say your father, but surely you mean your stepfather, since the name's not the same.
Yes, he's my stepfather. Mother makes me call him Father, though it sounds kind of funny, him being only 5 years and 2 months older than myself.
I see. How recently did your mother marry this Mr. Windybanks?
Oh, about 2 years ago it was, Mr. Holmes, and I'll admit I wasn't very pleased, seeing as it was so soon after Father's death, and him a man nearly 15 years younger than herself.
Enough to start complications in any home. Eh, Holmes?
Quite. But please continue, Miss Sutherland. I gather your father left your mother fairly well off.
Yes, sir, he did. You see, Father was a plumber in Tottenham Court Road, and he left a tidy business behind him. After he went, Mother carried it on. Although I must say that William, Mr. Hardy, Father's foreman, did most of the work. And a good thing he made of it, too.
This Mr. Hardy, was he your father's age?
Oh, no, sir. He was just 2 years older than me. The fact is, we had a sort of an understanding till this year Mr. Windybanks came along.
Oh, and he didn't approve of Mr. Hardy?
Oh, it weren't that so much as that he didn't approve of the plumbing business. Said it wasn't high class.
Oh.
Mr. Windybanks is a very superior gentleman himself, Mr. Holmes. Travels in wines for Westhouse and Marbank, the claret importers in 10 Church Street. Oh, a real toff he is.
I see.
Yes, sir. So after him and Mother got married, he made us sell the business. They got £4,700 for the goodwill and the interest, but Mr. Hardy said it was practically giving it away. And so him and my stepfather had an argument, and my stepfather told Will to clear out and never darken his door again.
Quite theatrical.
Yes, my stepfather's like that. Well, Will says he's off to Birmingham, and will I come with him? And I says, well, I can't hardly be expected to leave me own mother. So then he gets mad and biffs off.
Without giving you a chance to change your mind?
Well, yes.
And how is he doing in Birmingham?
Very nicely, I hear. Got his own shop and all. Oh, not that I write to him. I wouldn't send him a word if I was dying, I wouldn't.
Of course. Serves him right for not being more persuasive.
Yes, sir. Oh, but that's neither here nor there, Mr. Holmes. Fact is, I don't know why I even mentioned Will Hardy. Except that I'm so upset in my mind, my tongue kind of wags on by itself. Let's see, where was I?
Your mother had just sold the plumbing business for something over 4,000. You inherited part of that, I presume?
Oh, no, Mr. Holmes. I've got my own money, outside of the plumbing business, that is.
Oh?
It was left to me by my Uncle Ned in Auckland. It's in New Zealand stock, paying me 4%. Gives me £100 a year, it does.
Then the capital amounts to around £2,500.
Yes, sir, but I can't touch that. Just the income.
Quite a tidy little amount. I believe a single lady can do very nicely on £60 a year.
Oh, I could do on even less than that, Mr. Holmes. I'm a good one at managing things. But so long as I live at home, I don't want to be a burden to them, so I let them have the use of it while I'm staying there.
You mean you give the money to Mr. Windybanks?
Oh, no, Mr. Holmes. I draws it out every quarter and pays it over to my mother.
That's very generous of you, Miss Sutherland.
Oh, it's no hardship. I do pretty well with what I earn at typewriting. Makes me quite self-supporting, as you might say.
Yes, these independent, modern young women. Soon they'll be competing with men in business.
Oh, no, sir. I'm sure I wouldn't presume to be as bold as that.
Well, to resume, we find you are a young lady very comfortably fixed.
Well, I'm not exactly rich, Mr. Holmes, but I'd give all I have to know what's become of Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Hosmer Angel, eh? Quite a romantic name.
Oh, yes. And he was romantic, Mr. Holmes. Recited Browning, he did.
Sounds quite devoted.
Oh, yes, sir, he was. I could swear he was. And now he's gone, too. Disappeared like into thin air. And naturally, I'm anxious about him, being as it's the second time I've been left in the lurch, as you might say. I feel a bit sensitive about it.
Of course. Had you quarreled?
Oh, no, sir. We was as affectionate as two cooing doves. Mother said it used to make her quite sick to watch us. Oh, not that she wasn't all for Hosmer. That she was. Helped me to keep it from father and all.
Oh, then your father didn't know about this new admirer.
No, sir. That is, not until later. And then he never really saw him.
And how did you first meet this Mr. Hosmer Angel?
Well, Mr. Holmes, I met him at the gasfitter's ball.
How romantic.
Oh, yes, sir, it was. The gasfitters used to send father tickets while he was alive, and afterwards they kept on sending them to me and mother. Mr. Windybanks didn't wish us to go. He never did wish us to go anywhere. If I so much as wanted to go to a Sunday school treat, he would get quite mad about it.
Rather unreasonable.
Yes, sir. Well, it happened that the week of the ball, he had to go to France on business, so he wasn't there to make a scene when Mother and me went. It was a lovely ball, Mr. Holmes. I wouldn't have missed it for anything. It was there I met Hosmer. He was a lovely dancer. You should have seen him do the polka.
Swept you quite off your feet, I've no doubt.
Yes, sir. Well, he called next day to see if Mother and I had got home safe the night before. And after that, I went out once or twice for walks with him, and things was going along as smooth as you could wish. And then Father came home, and Hosmer couldn't come to the house any more.
No?
No, sir. Father didn't like me to have young men come to the house. Said it didn't look well for a young girl to have followers.
Rather a tyrant, eh?
Oh, yes, sir. But pretty soon he had to go off to France again for a couple of weeks, so I started walking out with Hosmer again.
And this Hosmer made no attempts to see you in the meantime?
No, sir. I wanted to, but Mother said she didn't think it was safe. Oh, he wrote to me every day, Hosmer did. Oh, here, I brought the letters. I thought they might give you a clue.
Quite right. We'll look them over later. Am I to take it that you and Mr. Angel had, an understanding?
Yes, sir. We were engaged after the first walk we took together.
The first worker, eh, Holmes?
Watson, don't interrupt. What was Mr. Angel's business, Miss Sutherland?
He was a cashier in an office in Leadenhall Street.
What office?
Oh, that's the worst of it, Mr. Holmes. I don't know.
Where did he live, then?
Oh, he slept on the premises.
And you don't know his address?
No, sir, except that it was Leadenhall Street.
Where did you address your letters?
Leadenhall Street Post Office, to be left till called for. He said if they was to come to the office, he'd be ragged by the other clerks. I offered to typewrite them like he did his, but he wouldn't have that. Said that when I wrote them myself, it seemed like there was something of me in them. That'll show you how fond he was of me, Mr. Holmes. He was always thinking of little things like that.
Yes, quite suggestive. Can you remember any other little things about Mr. Hosmer Angel? Any little peculiarities?
He was a very shy man, Mr. Holmes. He'd rather walk with me in the evening than in the daylight, because he said he liked to hold my hand, but he didn't want to be conspicuous.
Very considerate and gentlemanly.
Oh, yes, sir, he was a thorough gentleman, with the silkiest brown beard. Even his voice was soft-like. He told me he'd had quinsy and swollen glands when he was young, and it left him with a weak throat.
How unfortunate.
Yes, sir. His eyes were kind of weak, too, like mine, and he wore tinted glasses against the glare. I'd say he was about 5'5" and had small hands and feet.
I see. And what happened when Mr. Windybanks, your stepfather, returned to France?
Well, I wrote Hosmer, and he came round to the house, and he said I'd have to marry him before Father came back, as he couldn't stand the separation any longer. So I asked Mother, and she said, why not? Every girl was entitled to her own husband. Oh, Mother was all for Hosmer from the beginning, almost more than I was myself.
So you got married?
Well, no. Well, that is, not quite.
Oh, what happened?
Well, the wedding was set for yesterday morning. We thought it best to make it a quiet ceremony. It was to be at St. Saviour's Church, with a wedding breakfast afterwards at the St. Pancras Hotel. Well, about 9 o'clock, Mother and me was all dressed and waiting for Hosmer. I was a bit upset, I guess. You know how a bride feels, Mr. Holmes. Oh, dear, I'm that nervous. I don't know whether I ought to get married or not.
Don't you fret, Mary. All brides is like that. Why, when I was married to your father, I was so jumpy I split both me gloves.
Oh, I know, but I haven't known Hosmer very long, Mother. Maybe I oughtn't to jump off the deep end like this.
What's the good of waiting, Mary? Better get married now before your father gets back.
Yes, I suppose so. Oh, dear me, I wish my shoes wasn't so tight.
Shh, here comes Hosmer now. Don't he look handsome with that flower in his buttonhole and all? No, you stay here, Mary. I'll answer it. A bride should act shy-like on her wedding day. Good morning, Hosmer. How's the groom?
Good morning, Mother. Oh, I'm fine. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Hosmer. What's the matter? You look kind of white.
Oh, I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, I'm all right too, Hosmer.
Well, we better be shoving off. I got a hansom waiting outside.
Oh, but Hosmer, it's such a little way, and hansoms is expensive.
Oh, you don't think that any bride of mine is going to walk on her wedding day?
Now, who can that be? Hosmer, you're as full of jumps as a kangaroo. Now I'll go. What is it? Telegram? Oh, thank you. It's a telegram.
Maybe somebody's died.
I'm almost afraid to look.
But here, let me. I'm used to these things. Expect me home today. Erasmus G. Windybanks.
Father's coming home. What if he gets here before...
Now, don't lose your nerve. You're of age, remember, so it don't matter how he raves afterwards.
Oh, Mary, promise you won't let him tear us apart.
No.
Swear it, Mary. Now, where's the Bible?
Mary's carrying mine, the one I got married with, both times.
All right. Now, put your left hand on that Bible and swear that whatever happens, you will always be true to me and to me only.
But what could happen?
Oh, you never know. Now, swear it, Mary, for my sake. Swear it.
Yes, Mary. Why not do as Hosmer asks?
All right. I swear.
Oh, good. Now then, let's get on with it.
Yes, Hosmer. Oh, dear. Is my bonnet on straight?
Yes, only hurry. Mr. Windybanks may get back any minute.
Mary, don't forget your flowers.
No, Mother.
Well, hurry. Now, here's the cab. You first, Mother. Now, easy, don't upset the cab. Now, Mary. That's right.
Aren't you coming too, Hosmer?
No, there isn't room. I'd muss your dress. I'll hail another cab. Oh, yes, there's a four-wheeler now. Hey, cabby! Now, you go on. I'll follow after.
See you at the church, Hosmer. St. Saviour's driver. Yes, Hosmer got the other cab. It's following us.
Oh, my knees are knocking together like anything.
Now, hush up, Mary. Anyone would think you didn't want to get married.
Well, maybe I do, and maybe I don't.
Well, just hold your breath and it'll be over in no time now. Here's the church. You get out first and mind your dress. That's it. Now help me. Here, not so fast. I'm no blinking acrobat. That's it. Here, cabby.
Oh, here comes Hosmer's four-wheeler now.
You're St. Saviour's like you asked for.
Why doesn't he get out?
Give him time. Maybe his knees is shaky, too.
Come on, sir. What ails the man?
Mother, something's wrong with Hosmer.
Oh, stuff.
I'm going to see.
Wake up there.
I'll speak to him, cabby. What? The cab's empty.
What?
Something's happened to Hosmer. He's gone and left me waiting at the church.
Every day is Value Day when you insist on clothes by Clippercraft. Yes, we have to know our values are really great when we suggest you compare Clippercraft with clothes selling for very much more, which is exactly what we do suggest. Because there's a great big idea behind Clippercraft clothes in the form of the famous Clippercraft Plan. You get the benefit of great savings made by concentrating the buying power of 1,036 of the nation's finest stores from coast to coast. Yes, the Clippercraft Plan really streamlines the fine old craft of clothes making. When you can get such remarkably fine quality in suits for only $40 to $47.50, in tropical worsteds for only $33.75 to $40, and in sport jackets for only $26.50, why pay more? For selling expensive clothes at inexpensive low prices at the nation's finest stores is the great big idea behind the Clippercraft plan. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, top coats, sport jackets, and tropicals. In Manhattan, Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now back to Baker Street, where we find Dr. Watson commiserating with the young lady who has been left waiting at the church.
A shameful way for any gentleman to act, deserting his bride at the altar.
Oh, no, Dr. Watson, I'm sure he didn't do that. Not on purpose, that is. He was too kind for that. And then there's that pledge I gave him.
Oh, you think he foresaw some unforeseen danger, and that's why he made you take the oath?
Yes, sir.
Have you any notion what it could have been?
No, sir.
How did your father take it? I presume he found out.
Oh, yes, sir. He was quite consoling, really.
Remarkable.
Oh, it drives me half mad to think of it, Mr. Holmes. It's not as if it was the first time I'd been disappointed.
I understand. I shall be delighted to glance into the matter for you, Miss Sutherland. Now, let me advise you to turn the whole matter over to me, and don't let your mind dwell on it any further. Above all, try to let Mr. Hosmer Angel vanish from your memory, as he's done from your life.
Then you don't think I'll ever see him again?
I'm afraid not.
Oh, dearie me. You've been very kind, Mr. Holmes, I'm sure. I don't know how to thank you.
Not at all, Miss Sutherland.
Well, good day, gentlemen. Oh, where's my hanky? Oh, here it is. Oh, dearie me. Another romance blighted.
Holmes, what a horrid mess of bottles and test tubes. Yes, smells of hydrochloric acid.
Marvelous, my dear Watson, marvelous.
I don't believe you've buzzed out of this room since that poor young lady left early this morning.
No, it wasn't necessary.
Then you've solved it?
Certainly. It was bisulfate of baryton.
No, I mean the mystery of the disappearing bridegroom.
Oh, that. There never was any mystery in that affair, Watson. Pretty self-evident, don't you think?
Oh, no, can't say I do.
Oh, really? But I let you look at Mr. Hosmer's love letters.
But they were typewritten, even to the signature.
Yes, that's what's really suggestive.
Now, what's that?
Mr. Windybanks, I fancy.
Well, you mean the girl's father, stepfather?
Quite. I sent off a note to him this morning to his place of business.
But I must say, Holmes...
And this afternoon I received this businesslike reply on Westhouse and Marbank stationery, saying he'd be here at 6 o'clock. Come in, come in. Ah, Mr. Windybanks?
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
This typewritten note was from you, on which you set the time for this appointment at 6 o'clock?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. I'm afraid I'm a trifle late. It's about Miss Sutherland's missing suitor, eh?
Quite.
I'm sorry she's troubled you, Mr. Holmes. But you know what young girls are. Besides, it's a useless expense. Because how in the name of this and that can you expect to locate Hosmer Angel?
Pardon me if I disagree with you, Mr. Windybanks, but I have every reason to believe that I have located Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Delighted, Mr. Holmes, delighted.
Yes. I wonder if anyone's ever told you that a typewriter has really quite as much individuality as a man's handwriting.
You don't say.
Oh, but I most emphatically do. Every typewriter develops its own little idiosyncrasies. Now, this note of yours, Mr. Windybanks, you'll notice that all the E's are slightly slurred, and there's a slight defect in the tail of the R.
Yes, I never noticed it before.
Obviously. Now, I have here 4 letters which purport to come from the missing man. In all of them, the E's are slurred and the R's tailless.
Well, I didn't come here to waste time with fantastic talk like this. If you're going to catch the man, catch him. And let me know when you succeed.
Certainly. Watson, be good enough to lock the door.
With pleasure.
Now then, Mr. Windybanks, I have caught Mr. Hosmer Angel, because you yourself are that gentleman.
But well, what if I am? I didn't marry the girl, did I? It's not actionable.
No, your conduct is even worse than that. It's dishonorable and degrading. In the first place, you're the sort of scoundrel who marries an older woman for her money. Not satisfied, you want to assure yourself of the daughter's income, which you'll lose if she marries. You make her break off with her first sweetheart. And when you see it's going to be impossible to keep others from falling in love with her, you arrange to do so yourself.
Well, it was only a joke at first.
I failed to see any humor in it.
Well, I didn't know she'd fall for me like that, did I?
You made the girl swear she'd be true and wait for you. And then you played the cad and disappeared.
Well, maybe so and maybe not. But I'm not breaking any laws. And as long as you keep that door locked...
Quite so. Should you care to call a policeman? There's one in the street below. I'm sure your employer, Mr. Merrill Marbanks, who, by the way, is an old friend of mine, will be very interested in your little joke.
Oh, no, Mr. Holmes. You couldn't tell him. I'd lose my job and my social standing.
Quite so. I'll keep quiet on one condition.
Oh, yes, sir. Anything at all.
You are not to discourage any more of Miss Mary's suitors, past, present, or future.
Oh, no, Mr. Holmes, I wouldn't think of it. It was all just a little game, you see.
Yes. Well, the game's over. Watson, you may show the gentleman out.
Right. Now then.
Yes, sir. Well, good day, gentlemen. I hope you won't hold any hard feelings, Mr. Holmes. And if you ever...
Come along, no loitering, or I'll boot you downstairs. I'm a good man to do it anyway.
Well, I'm going.
The filthy blackguard. I say, but I still don't see how you spotted the man.
That typewritten letter, Watson, particularly the signature. Obviously, the man wanted to disguise his handwriting, which would have been familiar to the girl. Well, whose handwriting would have been familiar to her? Answer, the father's, as he was the only man she was allowed to come in contact with.
Well, it's really quite simple when you explain it. Oh, by the way, are you going to tell the girl?
I? No, heaven forbid. I shall let Mr. Will Hardy of Birmingham have that privilege. I wrote him the facts of the case this morning. No, he'll be able to persuade her to believe it. I never could.
Holmes, you're a moral coward.
Perhaps, Watson. You remember the old Persian saying, "There's danger for him who taketh the cub of the tiger, and danger also for whoso snatches a delusion from a woman."
Now then, Mr. Harris, did you guess the solution?
Well, when Holmes began to talk about typewriters, I started to have an inkling, Doctor, but before that, I'll admit I was pretty much at sea.
Why, Mr. Harris, I'm surprised, and after all my teaching.
Well, how about giving us a hint about next week's story, Dr. Watson?
Yes, Mr. Harris. Next week, I think I'll tell you about a particularly complicated case of violent and untimely death that Holmes and I ran across on what started out to be an uneventful excursion up the Thames. I call it the complicated poisoning on Eel Pie Island.
The makers of Clipper Craft Clothes and 1,036 leading stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by Alfred Shirley, and the dramatizations are by Edith Meiser. Sherlock Holmes is produced and directed by Basil Lochran, with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in The Complicated Poisoning on Eel Pie Island. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Clothes. This is the network for the Indianapolis Speedway races on Monday, the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. Well, I have to tell you, the one thing I did not like about A Case of Identity, when I read it, was that the ending. Well, they changed that pretty significantly here. On the ending of A Case of Identity, in the book, Sherlock Holmes concludes the two things that he concluded in this episode. He reached the correct solution and concluded the law couldn't do anything about the malfeasance. But he concluded there was nothing that could be done legally, though he did reach for a whip, but the guy got out of the room beforehand. And Holmes concluded that the miscreant was destined for the gallows, but he wouldn't bother telling the poor woman in the case because she wouldn't believe him. Same line uttered at the end. This is definitely an improvement in terms of feeling good about the detective and what he accomplished. Though I think the characterization in this episode did also do a little bit to justify the original conclusion, in that the actress here kind of played it like this person was really very clueless. And so Holmes might have some challenge explaining it to her, even beyond the issue of delusions. So an interesting and, dare I say, daring departure. All right, well, listener comments and feedback now. And we begin with Mr. Whitmer from Lexington, Michigan, who says, I'm listening to your Sherlock Holmes podcast, and I was wondering, what is the name of the music you play at the beginning of each episode? I'd like to track it down. Well, Mr. Whitmer, it's actually, we don't have a name for it. It was just a closing theme on Pat Novak for Hire. And this has been mentioned throughout the show's history. And it's come up, I think, a good 4 or 5 times in the almost 3 years I've been doing the show, and I've yet to hear anything back from like a listener in terms of like, oh, this is the title that this is from. So if I find out, I'll be sure to let you know. And I received an email from David who says, hello, Mr. Graham. My name is David, and I'm a big fan of your Great Detectives podcast. I found a show called Boston Blackie. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I thought it'd be something your listeners would like. It is about a detective named Boston Blackie who can do extraordinary things like pick locks and opening safes by somehow figuring out the combinations. And he sent along an episode. I don't know what order the show goes in, though. I hope you like it. Well, thanks so much. David, I've listened to this particular series, and Boston Blackie is on the list of shows we're going to do. It's still a few years away yet. We've got a few shows that are ahead of it, but it is definitely on my list. I love the show, and I love the Chester Morris version, and I love the Richard Colmer version, both. 2 different series. And really, I think Colmer does a great job. And when we do get to that in a few years, I think that listeners will definitely enjoy it. All right, well, that will do it for today. I want to thank everyone so much for listening. If you have a comment, feel free to email it to me, box13@greatdetectives.net. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. And I want to especially thank Jeffrey, who sends along a donation. We'll be sending along access to our premium site. Well, now it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This one is called The James Forbes Matter.
Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum, the refreshing, delicious treat that gives you chewing enjoyment. For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as
Johnny Dollar.
Roger Stern, Dollar.
Oh, hello, Mr. Stern. What can I do for you?
We insure Mr. James Forbes. He was killed last night. It looks like an accident, but there's always the chance it might not be. Can you take the job?
Sure. How about the details?
Well, come on down to the office as soon as you can, and I'll give you what we've got.
I'll catch the first train out.
the makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum bring you John Lund and another adventure of a man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
For refreshing taste plus chewing enjoyment, treat yourself to delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. When your mouth and throat feel hot and dry, a stick of Wrigley's Spearmint gives you quick, long-lasting refreshment. The lively, full-bodied spearmint flavor cools your mouth and freshens your taste. The chewing itself helps keep your throat pleasantly moist. Best of all, you can chew and enjoy refreshing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum almost any time and any place. Keep a package handy right in your purse or pocket so you can chew a stick whenever you want it. For refreshing taste plus chewing enjoyment, treat yourself to delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. Millions enjoy it, and you will too.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Intercontinental Indemnity and Bonding Corporation, New York City. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the James Forbes matter. Expense account item 1, $13.95, train fare and incidentals between Hartford and New York City. After receiving from you the details regarding the death of James Forbes, I registered at the Madison Hotel and went directly to the 5th Precinct Police Station and interviewed Lieutenant Arthur Parkhill, who was handling the case.
Well, there really isn't much more to tell, Mr. Dollar, other than what you know.
You're convinced it was an accident?
I'm convinced he fell over the edge of a 110-foot cliff, but it looks like an accident. Certainly doesn't mean the case is closed, but so far there's no motive for murder.
There's a wife.
Yeah?
Mr. Forbes had quite a bit of money.
That's an understatement. Mr. Forbes was loaded.
And Mrs. Forbes gets everything, including a $500,000 insurance policy.
Look, that's the first thing we considered, but just because a husband's got money and a great big fat insurance policy...
Now, wait a minute. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job.
And we've checked the wife. Checked her good. The way it looks, she liked being married. She was in love with her husband. When he went over the cliff, she was in the house. 4 servants can swear to it.
He just fell over the cliff.
According to everything we can find out, he took long walks every night along the cliffs by the ocean. Last night it was unusually foggy. Certainly possible he got too close to the edge, missed his footing, and did a high dive.
How about suicide?
At least there's no reason we can come up with. Good health, business doing better than it ever has.
Textiles, isn't it?
Yeah, biggest in the country. There's absolutely nothing that indicates suicide, especially no suicide note. There usually is.
Uh-huh. The Forbes estate is out on the island, isn't it?
Yeah. Going to take a run up?
Yeah, I thought I might. Well, thanks for your help. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Dollar. Let me know if you come across anything.
Expense account item 2, 75 cents. Cab fare to a garage where I rented a car and drove out to the island. The Forbes mansion stood in the middle of a lot of acreage along the shore at the northeastern tip.
Yes?
I'd like to see Mrs. Forbes, please.
I'm afraid Mrs. Forbes is seeing no one.
Tell her Mr. Dollar is here. I believe Mr. Stern from my company called Mrs. Forbes and told her I was coming out.
Mr. Dollar?
That's right.
If you'll wait a moment.
Sure. Take your time.
Mrs. Forbes will see you, Mr. Dollar. Mrs. Forbes was expecting you, but neglected to tell me. Mr. Dollar, ma'am.
Come in, Mr. Dollar. I'm Mrs. Forbes.
How do you do?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Mr. Stern called, said you were coming out. He seemed to think it was necessary.
Yes, routine. Unfortunately, in a matter like this...
I understand.
Better to get it over with.
I suppose so.
Just a few questions. What time did Mr. Forbes leave the house last night?
Right after dinner, around 9.
I understand he was in the habit of taking walks.
Yes.
Last night was the same as any other night.
Yes.
He seemed all right?
He was fine. Wonderful spirits.
Who found him?
The police.
Did you call them?
Yes, after he'd been gone longer than usual, I began to worry. By 12 o'clock, I sent William, my butler, out in the car to look for him. When William returned, I had him call the police. They didn't find him until morning.
You're convinced it was an accident?
My husband didn't commit suicide, Mr. Dollar.
Did he have any enemies?
No. No one killed him, Mr. Dollar. Now, if you don't mind, I really don't feel too well.
Of course. There's just one more thing.
Yes?
I'd like to take a look at the place, the spot.
I'll have William show you.
Thanks.
I'm sorry I can't be of more help, Mr. Dollar, but there's really nothing to help you with. My husband was killed in an accident. He wasn't murdered, and he didn't commit suicide. My husband was a fine and wonderful man. I loved him very much.
Of course.
I'll call William and have him show you the way down to the cliffs. It's been nice meeting you.
This is a terrible thing, William.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with the Forbes?
10 years, sir.
Theirs was a good marriage.
Oh, yes, sir. About another 100 yards, sir. You can stop here. Right over here, sir. They found Mr. Forbes right down there, sir.
Long drop.
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess under the right circumstances, it'd be pretty easy to miss your footing along here.
It was very foggy last night.
Yeah. Well, come on. I'll drive you back.
Mr. Dollar. Mr. Dollar, I don't know quite how to say this. I've nothing ready to go on except, well, I'm not convinced that Mr. Forbes' death was an accident.
Why aren't you?
It's hard to say. Until this morning, until some time after they found him, I didn't think it could be anything else. When the police questioned me, I didn't even consider another possibility. But Mr. Forbes has been taking walks at night, every night ever since I came to work. He's walked in all kinds of weather. He knew those cliffs from one end to the other.
Well, people take showers in the same shower year after year, and still a certain percentage of them slip and break their necks.
It's not just the walks and the fact that Mr. Forbes was so familiar with these cliffs. It's a lot of little things that have happened over the past 2 or 3 months. Nothing really definite. Telephone calls.
What kind of telephone calls?
Several times Mrs. Forbes has made calls. Several times I happened to overhear part of the conversations. They were affectionate.
Affectionate?
Yes, I thought she was talking to Mr. Forbes, but several times I discovered through dinner conversations between Mr. and Mrs. Forbes that she hadn't spoken to him during the day that he'd been out of the city. Well, it's really awfully hard to explain.
Just how affectionate were these calls?
Quite affectionate.
You think Mrs. Forbes has been playing around?
I don't know, sir. But in the last few months, when Mr. Forbes left, she'd informed me she was going to town to visit with friends. And she'd very seldom return until the day before Mr. Forbes was supposed to be back from his trip. Why, on one of these occasions, Mrs. Weatherwax, the woman Mrs. Forbes was supposed to be visiting, came to the house calling on Mrs. Forbes. Well, from her conversation, I gathered she hadn't seen Mrs. Forbes for some time.
Did you say anything about it?
To whom? To Mr. Forbes? Certainly not. I didn't think that much about it at the time.
Anything else?
No, sir. But I suddenly felt that I must tell someone. Sir, if Mrs. Forbes should find out, she'd surely dismiss me, and I couldn't blame her.
I won't say anything.
Thank you, sir.
Well, come on. We'd better start back.
I do hope I haven't started something I'll be sorry for.
Do me a favor.
Well, certainly.
If Mrs. Forbes gets any more of those phone calls, see if you can find out who's on the other end of the line.
I'll try.
You can reach me at the Madison Hotel.
Yes, sir.
I drove William back to the house, then headed for the city. It was close to 5 o'clock when I got back to my hotel and called Lieutenant Parkhill. I told him about my conversation with the butler, and he was interested. He agreed to do some more checking on Mrs. Forbes' friends, especially the men. Expense account item 3, $7.50, dinner. After which I took a short walk, then returned to my hotel to get a good night's sleep. I was just turning off the light when the phone rang. Johnny Dollar.
This is William, Mr. Dollar, the Forbes butler.
Oh, yes, William.
Mrs. Forbes received a phone call about half an hour ago.
You find out who he is?
No, sir.
Well, that's not going to help much.
I thought you could discover his identity.
How could I do that?
Mrs. Forbes just left the house. I overheard her agree to meet the party in the city.
Where in the city?
Well, I don't know, but I thought you could intercept Mrs. Forbes as she comes off the George Washington Bridge.
William, you have the soul of a Sherlock.
Yes, sir. Mrs. Forbes is driving the gray Cadillac sedan. License number 6A31593.
Friends, no matter what kind of work you do, it's a real help to chew delicious Wrigley Spearmint gum right while you're working. When you're warm or tired, for instance, the lively, full-bodied spearmint flavor is really refreshing. It helps keep your mouth and throat feeling cool and moist. Chewing on that smooth, good-tasting piece of Wrigley Spearmint makes the time pass more pleasantly, too. It seems to make your work go smoother and easier. Keep a package or two of Wrigley Spearmint chewing gum handy all the time. Enjoy chewing Wrigley Spearmint while you're working and at other times. That's Wrigley's Spearmint chewing gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar.
It took me 5 minutes to get back into my clothes and make it down to my car. 20 minutes after that, I was parking at the city side entrance of the Washington Bridge, waiting for Mrs. Forbes to show up in her gray Cadillac. I waited about a half hour. She came off the bridge doing a little better than the speed limit and turned south. I started tailing her. I stayed about a block behind, and Mrs. Forbes led me across town. Suddenly, at the corner of 41st and 5th, she pulled up to the curb, and a man stepped up to the car, quickly opened the door, and climbed in. They drove away, and I continued to follow. I followed for about another hour while Mrs. Forbes just drove around, obviously headed for no place in particular, just talking things over with her passenger. About 11:30, she made a left turn, cut back across town, and pulled up in front of an address on 108th Street. Her passenger got out, said something, threw her a kiss, and went into the building. After Mrs. Forbes had driven out of sight, I went down to the building the man had entered and looked through the glass door. He was going into an apartment at the end of the hall. I checked the apartment number, 1D. The nameplate on the mailbox outside was Roger Phillips.
I don't know Roger Phillips, Dollar. Name's familiar, though. I'll check on it. Where are you?
In a drugstore on the corner. Hey.
What?
Cab just pulled up in front.
Of the drugstore?
No, 953 East. I can see it through the... Hold it.
What?
I'll call you later, Lieutenant. My man just came out. He's getting into the cab. Goodbye. The cab was 2 blocks away and turning left by the time I was able to follow. It led me across town to the waterfront in a small, tired saloon named the Blue Toad. I watched while my man paid off his driver, and I followed him into the dive. The Blue Toad was one room, a few tables and a bar. The customers were off the waterfront, seamen and stevedores and bums with saltwater faces and an occasional tattoo. The air smelled like stale beer, live bait, and bad tobacco. I watched my man cut his way through the heavy blue haze and sit down. Another man sat at the table, a short man with a dark face. I found a table near the door, gave my order to a waiter with a crusty apron, and relaxed to see what was going to happen.
Hello?
Huh? Oh.
You alone?
Oh. Yeah, but I'm,
Buy me a drink, huh?
Sure. Well, what'll it be?
Champagne. Doesn't that get a laugh?
Was it supposed to?
Well, if I was a nice-looking guy, wearing a nice-looking suit, and I just walked into this dump and a dame like me ordered champagne, oh, forget it. I was just trying to start a conversation.
You started it.
I work on a percentage. Buy me a scotch and I'll leave you alone.
Relax. I'm not expecting anybody.
Thanks.
You got any influence with the waiter? I ordered a drink 10 minutes ago.
He's probably out in the alley. Not well. About this time of night, he can't stand the smoke and goes out to stock up on fresh air. He'll be right back.
What's your name?
Jane. Yours should be, Mike? Or Bill? Yeah, you look kind of like a Mike.
Why?
I don't know. Feeling you get when you look at some people. Some people look like certain names.
It's Johnny.
Johnny.
Doesn't fit?
I guess so. Who are you watching, Johnny?
What makes you think I'm watching somebody?
Because you are. You've been watching those two guys in the back.
Okay.
Cop?
Uh-uh.
The good-looking one just passed Timmy a bundle of money.
You know the little dark guy?
Forget it, huh?
Tell me about Timmy.
Tell me about Johnny.
I'm not a cop.
Nope. A cop would know all about Timmy. The good-looking one's leaving.
I'm interested in Timmy.
And Timmy or the money he just got.
Both.
You're not a stick-up man, Johnny.
Not a bit.
I'd like to help, but Timmy finds out about things. Timmy's a bad boy. Hasn't got a friend in the world. Not even me. You leaving?
Yeah. Oh, here. Buy some champagne.
Thanks. Bye, Johnny.
Outside, the air was fresh and clean. I got into my car, lit a cigarette, and waited for the dark little man named Timmy to come out. In about 5 minutes, he did. He crossed the street and climbed into a car. He drove west, and I followed. About 10 blocks later, I stopped and watched Timmy park in an all-night garage, then crossed to a hotel called the Bayview. He went in. I found a phone and called Lieutenant Parkhill.
Timmy?
About 5'9", dark complexion, dresses a little too sharp.
Timmy Collins.
Now, what about him?
Bad boy.
Yeah, so I've heard.
Assassin. But nobody's been able to prove it. I didn't even know he was in town. He shouldn't be.
Why not?
There's an old rap. Forgery.
Did you find anything on Roger Phillips?
Oh, yeah. Socialite playboy. Makes the columns about once or twice a week. Never very flattering.
Does he know Mrs. Forbes?
Oh, he might. Runs around in that circle. He's been in town for about a year now. He comes from...
What's the matter?
I was going to say he comes from Cleveland.
Yeah?
Just remembered. So does Timmy Collins.
Did you check on Phillips in Cleveland?
Now, the kickback hasn't come in yet. Won't get it till tomorrow morning. Only thing we've got on him here is what I've already told you.
What are you going to do about Timmy?
Let him alone for a while. Stake out in the hotel, see what he's up to. What are you going to do?
Go back to my hotel and get some sleep. I'm bushed.
Then I'll talk to you in the morning.
Yeah. Expense account item 4, $2.65. Breakfast the next morning with Lieutenant Parkhill at a waffle shop across the street from the precinct.
Roger Phillips skipped Cleveland owing a lot of money. The Cleveland report gives him a clean police record, but one thing's pretty interesting. Most of the money he owed was for gambling debts. Owed it to Timmy Collins.
Huh.
Unless we wandered too far out in left field, I got a hunch Timmy killed Forbes. Met him on that lonely road by the cliffs and gave him a shove.
Yeah, I have the same hunch. Mrs. Forbes falls for Phillips, and together they plan to eliminate the husband. Phillips makes a deal with Timmy. Maybe agrees to give him a big interest on the debt when he marries Mrs. Forbes and gets his hands into all that money. Does Phillips have enough money to pay for a job like that?
Well, if he doesn't, he probably borrowed it from Mrs. Forbes.
It was a big stack of bills. Why don't you check with Mrs. Forbes' banks and see if she withdrew a large amount in the last couple of days?
All right. Or some more coffee?
No, I think I'll make a call on Roger Phillips. Maybe I can force this thing out in the open.
What are you going to tell him?
Enough to scare him, get him into action. When people get frightened, they get careless.
Yeah, but they can get dangerous, too. You watch yourself.
Oh, like a hawk. Roger Phillips was still sleeping when I knocked on the door. I kept pounding till he opened it and squinted at me through puffy eyes. I introduced myself, and he showed me into a well-furnished small apartment. He put on some coffee, lit a cigarette, and sat down on the couch.
Oh, it's a little early for me, Mr.
Dollar.
Yeah. Sit down. The coffee won't take long. You're an insurance investigator.
That's right.
Well, I don't understand. What do you want to talk to me about?
Mrs. Forbes.
Mrs. Forbes?
You know her, don't you?
Well, I know one Mrs. Forbes. Casual.
I'm not going to play with you, Phillips. I'm talking about the Mrs. Forbes who picked you up last night and gave you a large amount of money.
Look, I don't know what this is all about.
I think you do.
I said I didn't. I was in my apartment all last night. Nobody picked me up, and certainly nobody gave me any money.
You went to a dump called the Blue Toad, and you met a man named
Get
Timmy.
out of here.
You're in big trouble, friend. I know all about Cleveland and Timmy Collins and Mrs. Forbes. And I think when Mrs. Forbes finds out about the deal you made with Timmy, she'll tell me everything. We'll see each other again. Oh, your coffee's boiling. Well, I'd given him the bait. A lot of hunches, but from his reaction, I was sure I'd scored. I went downstairs, crossed the street to the drugstore, waited 5 minutes to give Roger enough time to make his calls. Then I slid into the phone booth and made a call of my own.
Yes, sir. Mr. Forbes' residence.
William, this is Mr. Dollar.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Dollar. I was just going to call you, sir.
Did Mrs. Forbes just receive a call?
Yes, sir, just a moment ago. It was from the same man. She's going to meet him
Meet him? Where?
by the cliffs.
Phillips had taken the bait. Only 2 people could implicate him in Forbes' murder, Mrs. Forbes and Timmy. And he'd called Mrs. Forbes to meet him by the cliffs. I put in another call to Lieutenant Parkhill.
That's right, Johnny. Stakeout has a tap on Timmy's phone. Phillips just called him, said to pick him up as soon as he could. Phillips told Timmy there was trouble. Some guy named Dollar had found out about the whole setup. Shame on him.
We want to stop a couple killings. We better get right out there.
A couple of killings.
Sure. Phillips lets Timmy take care of Mrs. Forbes, then he takes care of Timmy. It's the only way he can protect himself.
I'll pick you up in 5 minutes. Oh, by the way, check with the bank. Mrs. Forbes made a withdrawal the day before yesterday. $10,000.
The lieutenant was as good as his word. In 5 minutes, he pulled his squad car up in front of the drugstore, and I got in.
So you want to wait for Timmy to pick up Phillips and tail him?
Well, we know where they're going. Better if we get there ahead of time.
Right.
The drive was fast. We swung off the main road on the island and headed up the private one to the Forbes estate at about 2:30 in the afternoon. Halfway to the house, we spotted Mrs. Forbes walking along the road by the cliffs. We stopped. She looked startled as we got out. Hello, Mrs. Forbes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dollar.
You've met Lieutenant Parkhill.
Yes, hello, Lieutenant. I was just taking a walk.
To meet Roger Phillips.
I beg your pardon.
Now, we know all about it, Mrs. Forbes.
All about what, Lieutenant?
Your husband's death. Who killed him? Why he was killed.
I'm afraid I don't understand. My husband was...
Roger Phillips will be along any minute. The man he paid to kill your husband will be with him. I think he intends to kill you.
This is the most ridiculous...
Mrs. Forbes. Roger Phillips left Cleveland owing a large gambling debt to a hoodlum named Timmy Collins. Last night you picked up Mr. Phillips and gave him $10,000, which he in turn gave to Collins.
And we think he made another deal with Timmy. After he married you, he could pay off his gambling debt with interest.
Might as well tell us about it, Mrs. Forbes. He doesn't care about you. You and Timmy are the only ones that can implicate him. And he's on his way here right now to see that you don't.
I don't believe you.
Well, then find out for yourself. We'll duck the car behind those trees and give you plenty of protection when he gets here. Find out for yourself.
Parkhill drove the car off the road behind the trees, stayed hidden, and waited for Phillips and Timmy. Mrs. Forbes stood quietly looking out to sea, her hands at her sides, bunched into small fists. She stood like that, not moving, even as the car came down the road, heading right for her. She turned and saw the car bearing down on her and picking up speed, and then she knew we weren't lying. But still, she didn't move, and the lieutenant and I went to work. The car was about 50 yards away when we stepped into the road. Timmy was driving and saw us the same instant Phillips did and tried to put on the brakes as we raised our guns.
What a mess.
Yeah. I'm sorry it worked out that way.
He was going to kill me, wasn't he?
He sure was. You want to tell us about it?
Oh, yes. It doesn't make much difference now, does it?
No, I'm afraid it doesn't. Expense account item 5, $25.88, car rental and gas. Expense account items 6 and 7, $93.75. Hotel bill, train fare, and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $148.48. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Remember, friends, for refreshing taste plus chewing enjoyment, treat yourself to delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. The taste of fresh spearmint is cooling, delightful, and there's lots of it in every stick of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. It freshens your mouth, helps keep your throat moist, and sweetens your breath besides. You'll enjoy the good chewing, too, because Wrigley's Spearmint is so smooth and pleasant to chew on. There's nothing else quite like it. Next time you're at the store, stop at your friendly merchant's display of chewing gum and get a few packages of good-tasting Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. Always keep some handy for refreshing taste plus chewing enjoyment. That's Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, brought to you by Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum, stars John Lund in the title role and was written by Blake Edwards with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Larry Thor, Jack Moyles, Bob Griffin, Mary Jane Croft, and Jean Howell. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum hope you enjoyed tonight's story of Johnny Dollar and that you're enjoying delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum every day. This is Charles Lyon, inviting you to join us again next week at this same time when, from Hollywood, John Lund returns as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
Welcome back. There were a few things in this episode. The big thing I noticed here is we not only had John Lund in the title role of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar, we had a couple stars of other detective radio shows on as well. We had Jack Moyles, who had played Rocky Fortune. And we also had Larry Thor, who had, of course, played Danny Clover on Broadway's My Beat. I always find it fascinating when you get multiple actors who play detectives together. Anytime I'm listening to radio, even if it's not a detective series, I note that. Probably the biggest record of this, I've been listening to Miss Brooks, and they had about 5 episodes where Gerald Moore played a French teacher. So they had Gerald Moore, who of course was Philip Marlowe, Gail Gordon, who played Gregory Hood as Mr. Conklin, and Jeff Chandler, who was Michael Shane, and on Miss Brooks played the role of Mr. Boynton. And if you want to give a tiebreaker to one episode also featured William Conrad, who played Matt Dillon. Not a detective show, but he did also fill in for more on one episode of Philip Marlowe. And I did one thing when I heard the title of today's show. I thought we had heard the Forbes matter. We had not, but I had, because the Forbes matter was one of those episodes. The two 5-parters, excuse me. So we will hear a full Forbes matter. I don't think it had anything to do with this particular plot. This one I thought had some nice features in it, though you still get to the end and you have the police lieutenant asking, that struck me as really funny. You had the police lieutenant asking Johnny Dollar, do you want to go in there? Do you want to meet them there, or do you want to just go in? A very odd situation. That's perhaps even beyond, I think we can safely say that's beyond the level of cooperation that police usually render to the insurance company. But I love that scene in the bar, where he was talking to that woman. That was just an incredibly well-characterized scene, great dialogue there. Some of the best we've heard, particularly during this Lund era. I did receive a couple comments we'll go ahead and go through. I do want to let you know, for those of you who have the premium site or our extras, we do have a John Lund extra. This is an episode of Escape. It's Shipment of Mute Fate, which the Jack Webb version is perhaps the most classic one. But we're going to play the John Lund one as an extra this month, so definitely enjoy that. Dave goes ahead and he emails in. He has a few comments, but he says at the end of the email, between you and Andrew, you have two of my favorite types of shows covered. Comedy would be number 3. Well, thanks a lot, Dave. I've actually thought of doing a comedy podcast. I listen to a lot of old-time radio comedy and music. It helps me get through my day at work. I get so much into the detective series, I can't listen to them during my work day, so I kind of lose my focus. But I love the comedies. I've listened to every episode out there of Life with Luigi, and right now I'm listening to Miss Brooks, Burns and Allen, The Joan Davis Show, Jimmy Durante, and it's wonderful medicine. The only reason I haven't done it yet is just a pure matter of time. But hopefully someone will start a great detectives type show for comedy one of these days. Now we have a voicemail to play. This comes from Phil. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Hi, Adam. This is a long-time listener from Connecticut. There was an article today in the Journal-Enquirer, our local newspaper, about the theft at the National Radio Archives. I don't know if you've read this or not. I thought you might want to know about it. It's a Journal-Enquirer, May 3rd in Connecticut.
Thanks so much for the question. Regina Oliver also shared a story on this with me, this one in the Washington Post. And this was actually a pretty interesting story. If you've listened to the program quite a bit, you'll recall that I've mentioned several times the Radio Gold Index. That is actually maintained by David Golden, who is a great radio historian, collects a lot of the material, and his RadioGoldIndex.com is just a huge catalog of items that he has collected, categorized, recorded information about, and really maintained over the past 40 years. We have a lot of information missing on radio. What we do know, we owe a great debt of thanks to David Golden. Well, Mr. Golden, he was over on eBay, and he saw an auction back in September of 2010, and it was the master copy of a broadcast interview with Babe Ruth. that was taken when the Babe hunted some pheasants in 1937. And Golden thought, this sounds like a great deal. I would love to get this item. But looking at the auction, he realized, I actually once had this item. In fact, Golden's collection grew so large that he'd given quite a few pieces over to the Library of Congress and to the National Archives. And he watched this auction go on eBay. And final sales price was a grand total of $34.74. Which is disappointing. Anything of Babe Ruth, this actual Babe Ruth vintage, people usually pay through the nose for. So he was disgruntled about it. He thought what had happened was that the National Archives had decided to without asking them, he'd given them this material that they just decided to clear it out, get rid of it. And so he sent them an angry letter saying, if you're going to sell this to dealers who will sell something like a Babe Ruth recording for $35, I want my stuff back because I didn't donate it to you to dispose in that manner. But of course, the National Archives hadn't actually gotten rid of it. It had been absconded with. It had been stolen. So what he actually did when he learned this is he did some detective work. He went ahead, he remembered the ID of the eBay user, and he found another one of their auctions and bought one of their items. And they went ahead and they sent him a package. He checked the return address. He thought because of the name, which was hi-fi_gal. He checked the address and, it actually belonged, to Leslie Wathen, who had retired, the previous June, from the archive, from being the head of the National Archives audio-visual holding. So in essence, it appears that Mr. Wathen was actually found guilty. So he retired from the National Archives and took a little bit of material with him. How much was a little bit? Agents have identified a total of according to the Washington Examiner, 4,806 National Archives sound recordings that were either seized from Wathen's home in Maryland or sold on eBay. And the total of this theft was $83,000. But the monetary value of the theft was not at all significant. The big thing is the loss of the nation's history. In order to supplement this Mr. Wathen's retirement funds. So he was found guilty. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison. It's an incredible story. And once again, people who love radio, you owe another debt to David Golden, who just continues to find new ways to contribute to its preservation and its understanding. So that's the story, and I think it's fascinating detective work, and I truly hope the National Archives take some steps to prevent this sort of thing from happening again, because we're talking about our national heritage. All right, well, we've run a little long in this segment. We do have one review from NC Grace 08. Listen to your podcast every night. Keep the stories coming, Grace. Well, not to worry, Grace. We will be back next week with a whole new catalog of stories. Beginning, of course, on Monday with Barrie Craig, right through Friday, where we're going to bring you another episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. In the meantime, send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Follow us over on Twitter at Radio Detectives and give us a call 208-991-4783. And be sure to rate the show on iTunes. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. 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 This is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.